Hello, and welcome to Sunday at the circus. Loki says it's time for snacks, so I guess we might. I see ear. Okay, let me keep myself untangled. All right, welcome. Hope everyone's having a great day. You have something yummy in your cupper. And
there we go.
Loki, why did you turn on incognito 3 times? What are you? Get off the keyboard, cat. Go sit in front of Shmooly. Oh, get off the keyboard. You can stay.
Yay. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Welcome. Is that, let's see here. I see Kilroy in the house. I see Alibaba. That almost looks like an Atari game. That.
Ooh, I forgot you have 2 sewing machines there. Alibaba, I bought a Singer Merit 1862. It's nothing too fancy, but I got it going. Because I'm an addict.
Seriously, I know. I had another parking lot sewing machine experience, and I picked up an improved Eldridge rotary. And I was going to do some sewing first, but since Alibaba's in the house,
Hey, Skid. Hey, Gilroy.
Hey, Skid. I don't know. This cheeky wiring underneath here scares the poop out of me. The kid who sold it to me says it works, but honestly, I'm terrified to plug it in.
So I told you my story. How I almost set my house on fire with my white rotary. Sketchy.
This one doesn't have a cover on it anymore.
But does it have the metal bar going across both sides? Hey, butterfly.
Metal bar going across both sides.
Or at least on one side. It'll work.
I can't YouTube.
You just have to be careful. Be so careful. Don't take any medical
underneath
advice.
of the machine? That's the scary part. Did I tip this up good? This is like held on by like duct tape and a prayer underneath here.
I have a bunch of sketchy wiring.
It's like got electrical tape wrapped around different pieces of it.
All the rubber band sells it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's attaching it to the bottom. I'm a little terrified. I mean, the hand wheel works, and I don't hear anything like clickety clankety and scary. Parking lot sewing machine chronicles. Yes, story of my life.
Yay.
Hey, butterfly. I could not. I'll take a picture. Are you? Yeah, you got to replace that cord. I don't care if it looks good. You have no idea the conductors. I know this is going to be my first foray into electrical engineering since school, and I'm a little bit frightened.
Okay, I'm a pirate, so I'm nothing but bad advice. Usually I plug it in, but I have a cord that's plugged into where my washer and dryer is. So it can take more. It's literally made to take more. And I have a special cord that I use for construction, so it's like 3 times as thick. When I'm making bad choices.
I don't think I saw any bare spots, and the cord is like malleable still. And I think the piece that goes, I don't understand how the foot pedal like has its own outlet cord, and then the motor's got its own separate. I don't understand how this machine works.
So they plug it in different places.
Yeah.
I have several machines. Singer actually has quite a few designs like that as well. Especially those weird presser foot.
This like circle thing. The one with 2 holy things in it. Local man. Yeah. See that the wiring in my house is sketchy enough without plugging in. I'm like, maybe I should get I don't think my washing room has any extra outlets in it. I don't know.
Kilroy, it is a goal in my life to have local Yahoo under my name while I'm being interviewed by the news. It's a goal in my life. I'm surprised I haven't burnt my house down. The honest truth.
Yeah, I don't know how to set it to thread it. I don't understand where the thread tension is. Like the kid said he had it on Craigslist for $200, and I picked it up for $50, but it also came with this pewter dish filled with presser feet. I think I have a Lego part in here. I got a free Lego piece.
I love that.
And
That's hardcore. That's hardcore.
I don't even know what or where this thing is.
Are they cams? Those might be cams to a different machine.
Oh, I'm trying as if like my computer camera is turned on that you could like look at it from here instead. I'm going to say is if you want the cloth cord look, there's really safe modern cloth cords you can buy. You don't need to use sketchy shit from 100 years ago. Yeah, I have no problems like upgrading it. I just don't know where to start yet. So I had one plug for the machine and one for the controller that plugged into the main plug in the table. That table then plugged into the wall socket. Any mechanical parts, they came with sewing machines all the time. Oh, sorry for the clanking of metal bits. No, it was mostly greased presser feet, a random screw that doesn't even look like it goes to that sewing machine.
I love mix and match sewing parts. I love them.
But I got another Tucker foot and another ruffler foot, so I can. And there's one original bobbin in the machine, so that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I saw it. It was cute for $50. I was like, sure, why not? I texted my human and then another friend. I'm like, I'm driving over to the next town over to pick up a sewing machine. I'll text you when I get back so you know I didn't get kidnapped or deleted.
I send those texts all the time. Like, I'm going over here. If you don't hear from me in a couple hours, I made a bad decision.
I know. Because it's funny because I picked up Brunhild in a parking lot also, but I wasn't by myself. I pick up antiques. I just drive to random parking lots for sewing machines.
Do you know what's funny? For as much as they are just being politicized, and as much as we do not get along right now, my local sheriff's department has a drop-off place, and they have different stations around town. So they have a marketplace at a police station. So as long as you're not selling drugs,
right?
Like, it's one of the safest places. I sell there all the time.
Yep. And absolutely, Kilroy, it is a bonus when it comes with the original, because this Eldridge, I don't even know how you wind it because it doesn't have any holes in it. It's like flat and solid. So I'm super confused, but the kid said it works, but I'm afraid to plug it in. Go ahead.
I've been sitting here quietly and I can't hold it in anymore.
Okay.
I made a pair of Spants that were semi-Phoenix inspired.
Ooh.
And I'm wearing them because they're so awesome. All right, I'm gonna back up. These are just awesomeness.
Ooh, look at those. Cute.
And they're humongous.
Duster.
And they're huge. Well, I made a whole outfit inspired on something that I watched from Lucille Ball on the Dick Cavett show. But
you've been working on your costume.
But I made I am literally cosplaying Lucille Ball as Godless Sewing.
Oh, that's so funny. I don't doubt that you do have the master bobbin list, Alibaba. Oh, Kilroy. After the Craigslist killer, a bunch of cop shops around me set up sections on the parking lot where you can meet and sell from online. Those Spants kick-ass pockets. Who needs pockets when you've got to carry a bag?
So I have 4 more. No, I'm sorry. I have 5 more yards of this material, and I had 18 yards. So this is an old jacket. This jacket, you can see, I made this before my 18 yards, but I made this. I still have 4 or 5 yards. So my next pants or spants will have pockets. And thank you, everybody. The weather doesn't know what it wants to do. It's so confused right now. It's gonna rain.
It thunderstormed here yesterday, which is really impressive.
Wow.
And it's humid out today. It says it might thunderstorm later. Project work or test. Look at me testing stuff before I do the final. I try to grab it. I tried on my press-on fusible interfacing because I've got a whole bolt of it and I've never used it, and the binding because stop! My corset bust is getting stuck on the table. It's just ooshed. I cut out my trapeze boots.
Oh, those are awesome.
And then they'll have the lining, so I'm gonna press on the fusible interface. I'm gonna French seam the bottoms. Then we're gonna fuse it later because iron and I'm gonna use the other one too. I'm just coming apart at the seams. So I hope everybody's having a great Sunday because I don't have a list. We're flying by the seat of our corset stays today, and I'm just here for the fun of it.
I did a ton of sewing, and I have a Phoenix channel exclusive because I made a weird choice on a jacket, and I wanted it more for the patches, and it's a medium, so I can't wear it anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably end up giving it to my ex-wife. But I bought a really spastic jacket. You want to see it? I'll show it to you.
Oh, hey, Skits, we've got a threesome tonight, or a throuple.
Hey.
Why, hello. How are things?
Hey.
So,
I bought this really spastic jacket, and even my conscience was like, dude, what are you doing? But this thing, I want the patches on it. These are patches. This is paint and patches. And I only got it for I want the devil patch, I want the angel patch. And this whole piece right here is a back patch.
Oh, whoa.
So I'm gonna go crazy with the seam ripper and see what this jacket really looks like underneath.
Oh, it's got to be warm here. 20C, that is warm. Carrying a bag definitely has opened me up to other fashion possibilities. I know, because who needs to make their hips look with that much bigger pockets and a bag? Come on, I don't need a pocket. And it's 80 here, but an unseasonably low 30% humidity. I know you're aren't even sweating at that temperature with that low humidity.
I want to carry a backpack, but that just says where I live, that means you're homeless. Human beings can no longer, unless you're standing on campus of a school or something,
For real. Yeah, I just had a buddy up the other day who lives down in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and yeah, he's just telling me how bad it is and how this people are just slumped over, just ODing on heroin and fentanyl and pooping in the streets.
I watched a video today about Philadelphia, and it's really funny? I've been to these places that they're showing. It makes me I said last week, San Francisco was the place I still want to live there, but I'm not a millionaire.
Seriously.
But it pains me to see, and it's not just San Francisco. Philadelphia is scary. I watched a video today. What did they say? They said it was some drug I never heard of.
It's the trink. It's the xylocaine with heroin or fentanyl or whatever. That's the zombie one that it eats your flesh, and you can't. Narcan doesn't work because of the xylazine, because it's a different type of anesthetic.
This guy literally just walked out of a train station, and I was like, what's funny? I do a lot of outreach, and I work on the streets of LA, and it's not as somebody will walk down one street and find all these people gigging out, but it's not like that all the time. We just have droves of homeless people here, droves and endless seas. When I see these videos of places like Philadelphia and San Francisco, it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, because they're just in open air drug encampment hangout places. You're listening
Just-
but not watching Working on a Dress. That's okay.
Awesome.
There's nothing really to look at right now.
just here just recently they did a cleaning up the streets, if you will, they're AKA they found, cleaning up all the homeless encampments and forcing them to
Right.
move. And like I went to the store and I'm like, there are no shopping carts. And you see on the news, like they literally just hundreds of shopping carts because all the homeless people were moving their stuff. So they
Right, you
jacked
gotta
all the
move on.
homeless.
They gotta pick up my moving van first.
So I'm like, oh,
That's crazy. They don't have the little magnet things at the end of the parking lot.
most of the places here don't.
Here in LA County, they have these things where they have sensors on them and they stop at the end of the parking lot.
Oh,
The
because
wheels
they've learned they can't.
No, even in the good, even no matter where in LA you go, no matter if it's in the suburbs or the really crummy area, you will see a ton of carts at the end of the parking lot because everybody was like, "Oh, I can't steal this," and they're like, "Oh, I'll just walk."
Oh, poor Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys would like not be able to have his job, run his business. Poor Bubbles.
Wouldn't be able to toss them over. It's a gold mine down here.
No, right?
He would thrive in the. He
Oh.
was like certain. Yeah, no, those places are everywhere. It's been like that for over 20 something years. Because I lived in Koreatown when I was like 19, 20, and that was like. Because I went to college, but that was sheltered an environment. When I moved to LA, that was my first experience of like, no one caring.
Right. Yeah, Killer. I think it's needles and poop.
That's so sad. That is like, where am I gonna move when I win the lottery?
Up north. Way north.
That is true. I could just build a Victorian house somewhere else on the ocean somewhere else. I'll tell you, you're gonna laugh at me, but when I was a kid, watching Full House made me want to live in San Francisco. And then when I got car age, I found out that they had way better smoke than we have in Southern California. And that was still the hippie era. So like I met some real down-to-earth people in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I almost drowned in Golden Gate Park when I was surfing. An Australian man saved my life. I still have the hole in my surfboard that I got in San Francisco, the surfboard that I constantly point to that's directly above my head.
Jesus.
I love San Francisco. That was like, I want to live there so bad, but
I love the area. I love the architecture. I love the people are not for the most part. There's too many of them, and I can't. I driving there is impossible. I would flip out. Like
I agree with you on that. I freak out here in LA. I would be like hitting my hand on the steering wheel. And
oh my, that's another place I don't want to drive.
Seattle was bad enough. It like tormented me, and I don't drive in Portland. I will fly and take the transit. I don't drive in Portland.
That's one
Portland
thing.
was okay. The Seattle Expressway was traumatic to me the first time I ever went on it. Everybody was.
Which one? The 405 or the 520 or the 90 or the?
I was with a friend. I was with a friend who just kept on saying, "Hey, make left here, make left here." And then I got on some expressway where people were literally slowing down to be like, "Go back to California, get the F off my freeway." And I'm like, I'm in a 1983 Ford Ranger.
Oh my God, I can't go any faster.
My truck, I think its top speed was 65, 75 or something.
Oh yeah, you were like, you can't take the back streets. You're not allowed on the freeway.
Well, I was doing good up until I hit the expressway, and they were like, "Stupid Californian, get out of my way." And you know what? It happens here too. I can tell when people are from out of town.
Well, their license plates don't say California.
Well, they're driving slow in the fast lane. They have a certain sense of entitlement. Californians, like if you're slow, they will get out of the way because they know everyone behind you has anxiety. Yeah. Everyone.
One of the craziest places to drive, at least in my experience, is around active military installations because you got people from every state driving their own way, and it is absolutely insane.
You know what Gilroy said is 100% right. Seattle did turn into LA. I had a good friend who's weirdly churchy conservative, but that's a different conversation for a different day. He did 11 years in prison and now he's an evangelical Christian, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But he moved from Seattle back to my hometown because he was like, at least I know who's going to rob me in LA. Seattle got bad. It got bad. And he did like 11 years in prison and he said it was bad.
That's something, some comparison.
It's someone I grew up with. It's weird. Like, I feel judged sometimes and like, but then I remember who's judging me. It's people like that. I come from a hardcore dude bro culture.
Dude, bro.
Yeah, no, not me.
There are people who send me Facebook messages. They're like, your YouTube was a revelation. What they're saying is I was scared of you and I never knew how you really were. Is really what they're saying.
Fair.
Yeah, there are lots. There is no good place to live right now. It seems like just if you're happy with where you're at, just hunker down and stay because there's not really anything that much better.
I don't even want to say it out loud, but where I live is kind of Mayberry-ish. I can walk down the street and like, I still wave at my neighbors.
Except for maybe one.
I feel so sorry for him. He has a for sale sign on his house, and the guy hides in his house. Like the other day, I pulled up. He was washing his car. His son and his wife were out there. He walked in his house, and his son was standing there, like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, poor kid." And you know me, I walk out. I'm like smoking a J, laughing. You know,
wearing a Klingon cape.
With giant flower pants.
I feel sorry for him though, because he really thought that he was gonna win, and now my annoying ass is with my camera in front of my house posing every week with whatever I wear or whatever I've made. You know, I'm skating in front of the house with a jacket on. I learned today. I was at my job and I started skating on my Lucy coat, so that one was a little too long.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I can't ever see myself making one of those fancy dresses with a giant train. I'm like, I don't want to have to get everything dirty.
Amazon and Netflix killed off all the cool parts of living in a city anyway, so you may as well move to a small town.
Yep, cheaper, and it doesn't take 45 minutes to drive 15 miles.
Do you know what's really sad? Has anyone seen Picard season 2?
Nope.
I'm more talking about.
I stopped after season 1.
There's a season. They go back to the future, and it's supposed to be 2024 or 2025 or something like that. And they show all this homelessness and devastation in LA, and I'm like, it was really like that. They didn't even need to get actors. It was like LA really looks like that. It's sad. As someone who used to live downtown, I refuse to go down to downtown LA.
Remember like DS9 and like Sanctuary when they went back in time to the sanctuary cities and like
yeah. Those were like I'm scared to look up the charts of those years because we're living through those years. Like we've already passed iRobot.
Oh God, really?
There's a chart. You should look it up. There's a sci-fi chart of all the movies in years. We've passed a ton of movies.
Well, I feel like since I've been watching Black Mirror, that show just feels like a primer of what's like around the corner. Like everybody's going to have their little temple computer chips, and you could be tracked, and you will own nothing and be happy.
Sorry, for me, it's apocalyptic stuff. I can't watch it anymore. Like when I used to watch The Walking Dead, every week I would have a dream that I'm scavenging around my old junior high with an M16, or I would have these crazy dreams. Like, I have not watched any of the spin-offs, any of the wannabes, none of it, because I think we're eventually going to live it, or the people in the future are.
Right. This is so true, Alibaba. You can't fish or hunt or have a nice big garden in the city. And Kilroy, you know it's bad when your Skid Row is literally named Skid Row on Google Maps. Oof.
I have I'm the king of, hey, can I have that t-shirt? I dated somebody who was a paramedic in Skid Row. So if you ever see me with a T-shirt that has a 9 and an ace of spades on the back, it says their unit and it says Skid Row Ace and a Hoe. That was on all the trucks. That was on all the ambulance. It says Ace and a Hoe, like literally H. LA is no joke.
Nice.
Yes, Skid Row is it. My father took me down there when I was in junior high when he saw that I was a sassy young man, and we went down there.
Trying to scare you straight.
Well, it was more of like we're gonna sit here and we're gonna serve 700 homeless people, and we're not gonna leave until every single person's fed.
Now you'd be there for like days.
They do it.
Line.
They do it jail style. They have seats like a commissary, like jail and everything at the LA Mission, where it seats like a couple hundred people.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to have it like that when you're feeding them.
Poor Tina Turner this week.
Oh, I've been watching I've watched every performance with her and somebody else.
I didn't realize she was Swiss.
You didn't?
No, I didn't know because I don't know. I didn't look.
People come to America and they live the American dream. They make it huge.
And then she went back to Switzerland.
Oh, it's the Angels. Sorry, I thought it was the Dodgers.
Grandma loved Tina. Grandmas are the best. Assuming that they were good humans.
And that's another thing. Tina Turner, like, because of my age, it reminds me of the MTV era of like, oh, that's Tina Turner. We're just gonna watch her performance because that's Tina Turner. Reminds me of Mad Max.
Her singing on the naval ship in that little sparkly outfit thingy. And like, that's Tina Turner, right? It wasn't sure.
Alibaba, I think about this all the time. Like Isaiah and I have this argument all the time about van life. And I'm like, they're just homeless, bro. They're fancy homeless. They're fancy homeless. And as someone who lived in a Chevy Tahoe, I'm not talking trash. I was homeless off and on for 10 years because I refused to get with the system. I refused to plug into the matrix. But disclaimer, I am not what's his face? The guy that always talks about the matrix. He's from America, but he grew up in Luton. He's a kickboxer.
Oh, Andrew Tate?
Yes!
That piece of garbage.
That was a strange segue.
No, because I know too much about him because one day I got bored at like 3 a.m. and I was like, I want to know everything there is to know. He was actually born in America. Talk about and he was raised in Luton. And anyone who knows Luton, it's in England, it's a tough place. Like you have to know how to fight. So it makes sense. Why he's a kickboxer.
Fair enough.
And I knew him as a kickboxer before because I love strange sports.
Slap fighting.
I'll watch.
He's been watching Rumble too much.
I have. Still to this day, though, I will watch Australian rules football. I've been watching it for almost 30-something years now. I don't know what's going on.
Because it's the Australian rules.
I just think they're just beating the crud out of each other. Rugby too. Rugby, don't know the rules. I watch it on TV whenever it's on.
I watch cricket on occasion.
Totally. That's English baseball. Still have no idea.
That game's a trip trying to follow the rules. Like, oh, that's 6 and that's a wicket and that's a what? Okay.
Right, and how they like go up into the rafters and like debate about how many points they're gonna get. Like, I don't get it. Rich people games. I guess
that is true.
In India, and then it's just people games.
It's funny you'd say that. Like, I grew up near golf courses. My grandfather moved to a specific area because there's a golf course within walking distance. I hate golf.
Hillary, thanks for schooling me. She was actually from Tennessee, and her last husband was Swiss, and then she moved there. I like books and ovens and stoves and being indoors too much for that fan life bullshit. We have too many sewing machines. I have too much fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I get?
I got my Who's It.
Oh, I love those things.
No,
Oh,
cut
you
off
got
my
your
finger.
rotary cutter? Don't cut your fingers on your rotary cutter.
I mentioned it one time in a stream, not knowing that somebody had taken a finger off.
Oh,
So,
and you cut pieces with it. Good job. Oh, I love that little buffalo plaid teddy. Switzerland is nice. I wouldn't mind going back there. And the food is good.
Is that the country? Are guns legal there? There's a country where they have the same legalization that we do, but they don't have the same violence that we do.
I think so. Well, isn't it that or Denmark that was like, oh no, one of them just changed. Like now you have to keep you. Where is it? Oh no, that's Sweden that I'm thinking of now. That
Yeah, Sweden has pretty.
you had to you could have one, but everybody's got to have. You can have your piece at home, but it's got to be registered with like the local militia. But you can't keep your your ammunition at home. You have to go into the town depot or whatever to pick up.
Oh, crazy! Absolutely, Skits, you go.
I just need to actually sew them together now.
Right? It's mandatory to have a gun per household in Switzerland. Okay.
Crazy.
Set our quota, I think.
I saw this crazy documentary of this young lady was on a bike with a rifle, and I'm like, wow, you couldn't do that here.
Oh, yeah.
Realize things like that again in this country because maybe that would help folks be less scared, but I don't know how we.
I think about that all the time. Like, we'll expose, like, when drugs are legalized traditionally, crime goes down.
Mm-hmm.
But we only have certain countries as the model, like Portugal, Spain. You know, we only have certain countries.
Oregon.
Has crime gone down though?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the statistics, so it's too early for me to tell. Plus, Oregon's got a whole host of problems.
Because I'll tell you, like here, everybody's on meth.
Oh, there's a lot of that here too.
If you see a grown person on a bicycle, they're on meth. Not a helmet.
Right, unless they look like a cyclist. If they have no toe clips, there's probably meth involved. Toe clips, probably not.
We have a ton of those. We have a ton of those here too.
Okay, we are learning more stuff today. Killer, they have actual gun licensing and training programs in Europe versus here where any madman dumbass can get a gun. True. Oh, Alibaba, it's mandatory to have a gun in one per household in Switzerland. All citizens in Switzerland have to join and contribute to the Swiss army. Okay, so it's kind of like Israel or wherever you have to do your 2 years of like mandatory compulsory service, or South Korea's got the same thing.
I actually knew someone in Hollywood that was the most biggest self-proclaimed sissy you've ever known in your life. And he was from Israel, and he had more training than the average human being. Like he was former IDF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like years and years. And he told me, like, nah, man, like it's mandatory. And I just stayed because it was a good job. Like, they were paying me, so I stayed.
Yeah,
I work with a former IDF soldier.
They know how to fight hand to hand. They know how to fight.
Well, that's what they've got. I mean, that's what Krav Maga is. They have their own style of hand to hand combat.
There's a saying, like, you never run into a gay bar trying to pick a fight because you're gonna find someone like that guy who will literally put you out of your misery within like boop, boop, like he won't even drop his beer. He'll just do a move.
I will say though, Krav Maga sounds delicious.
It was so
Never
much
heard
fun.
that joke.
Oh, displacing the head of my fibula was not fun. Let's see. Everywhere that all drugs are legalized has an original burst of use, but then drug use usually drops like a rock. Future generations use drugs a lot less because they're boring and not taboo. True. In the 90s, there were 2 spots in a fallout shelter per citizen.
Crazy.
Oh, great. So yeah, me and my twin could go. Ooh, the IDF invented the Uzi. I learned so much on my streams.
And fun fact, they don't have safeties. So keep out of reach of children if you own one. To all my Uzi owners, I could look at you and tell if you own a Uzi. I could just tell.
Well, it's supposed to be locked in the cabinet where the kid lock that stuff up.
My I have a Winchester gun safe. Mine's so heavy, like, it's a real one.
Yeah. Not one of those fake sissy ones.
No, it probably weighs 600 pounds. It's ridiculous. If I move, I'm gonna leave it here with it open. And with a combo written on it, like, here, you bought the house, you get this stupid safe.
Buy a house, get a safe for free.
It was such a hassle to put it in here. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I'll get another one. And I've seen smaller ones. It's an old school one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, weighs as much as a car.
Right.
I went kind of poppy crazy. Are you guys ready for a fashion show? I was gonna save it to Monday, but I'm feeling kind of Skits is here. Skits is here,
Shot those pants.
First, I made this a while ago, but now I've fallen in love with it because it goes with this.
That it does.
Yep. What is going on here?
And I did make this one purpose. I made this one big to go over my vest on purpose. Because I'm usually wearing my vest because it's permanent winter now here in California.
Just need to make a little blossom hat with the same pattern and
right.
Oh my God, this is so 90s rapper. Tupac would wear this. Tupac would have worn this.
Tupac would have stolen your shoes.
So really quickly, let's have a fun talk. I have a good friend who I'm about to tell one of his stories, and I don't care.
Right, because it's not on your stream. You're like, I can talk about whoever I want.
Yeah, no, because I know he subscribes to my channel. I know for a fact that he is. We grew up together, and he always says, like, oh, I loved your stream. He'll text me, I loved your stream. And I'm like, oh, crud, you're still watching. But
yes,
he worked
just in time for summer.
He was a computer programmer, and he worked for actual Apple, like not like at the Apple store. Like he invented apps, and he eventually went insane because of the pressure.
Yeah,
and left the job. It was a big ordeal. Anyways, at Apple, rappers would have these guys produce music for them because this was like, these guys invented Pro Tools. Let's just put it that way. Like these were the guys writing the programs, the music programs. And then they wouldn't pay them, or they would hold them hostage until the album was over. And so my friend was like, if any rapper even comes in Apple, everyone literally goes in the opposite direction. And because he went to jail, I have no problem throwing him under the bus. Mike Vick did the same thing. And my friend said that Michael Vick refers to himself in person as Mike Vick.
Oh God, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Skid Scratcher knows exactly what Skid Scratcher likes to do.
No, it would drive me mentally insane. Thank you, Butterfly.
In the third person.
I'm all about color combo, and I'm gonna put my Lucy coat on in a minute, but that triggered a memory.
I got my little holder, polka dotted boulder holder with shoulder straps because I had one that tied around the neck, but I don't like things tying around my neck.
So it's a shoulder boulder holder.
Yes. Yep, not the neck holder. Hurts too much. That's why corsets are great. Wow, that was quite a random segue of a tangent of nonsense.
I really am loving these spans. Phoenix, I'm glad that I stole your idea. I might make a ton more spans and just start wearing them all the time. Why
not? Because they're like the perfect thing.
And they fit my pirate motif.
You had a fair amount of that pattern, didn't you?
Yeah, he said 18 yards of it.
I just see it everywhere back there.
I mean, yes.
And I had to make an extremely large collar. I want Gilroy to see how large that collar is. It's the size of my hand. But because the pattern is so awesome, you can't tell because it's camouflaged.
That's when you do a contrasting collar to be like, here I am, I'm a collar.
Thinking about that, but this one is long. This was inspired by Lucille Ball.
They do. I don't like ties that cut into the back of my neck. I am not a fan.
Is that the one you were roller skating on?
Yes. I have 2 left feet, and I put my first left foot through it.
Oh God!
Oh no! Did you make a big hole in it?
No, I ran over it, and this is actually a really good one. See, it doesn't even have tread marks or anything. This is a weird like a weird thick cotton blend. So it's I was gonna make overalls, but I still have 5 yards, so I might make overalls.
So you still have enough for overalls. Just do it all. And I thought I'd make a cute. I've had the flannel with teddy bears and strawberries. That was like a cute little skirt. Why not? For a child? No, this is for me, folks, because I'm a weirdo. And I don't sew clothes for others, generally.
You know what? Don't feel bad. When I was a kid, I was hooked on watching G.I. Joe. I would literally get up every Saturday. I would salute. It is such propaganda. I would salute to Sergeant Slaughter. Oh, man, propaganda works. But I watched G.I. Joe Renegades on YouTube. My son walks in here and he's like, really? You're in your 40s. What is wrong with you?
Means I can watch whatever I want, kid.
Yeah. That's what's great about being 40.
Yeah. I need something when I'm like sewing or doing a big project. I need something mindless. And they show the entire series on loop.
Oh, that's right.
So I've seen it a few times.
What's going on here?
I just started watching the show Wilfred. It's obviously been out for a while, but just started watching it, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it is. Oh, what else was good? I was watching earlier today the 4-part little docu thing about mer people on Netflix.
Oh, excuse me. Is it like real mer people? Actual?
Mer people.
Performance artists, athlete mer people.
Oh, okay.
And there's this, what is it? This kid, he's probably 40 kid. The Mer Taylor, who I guess makes bougie $2,500 to $5,000 mermaid tails for performers.
I've actually seen those. There's a doc. I need to add that to my list. Good. I need something. I'm in a show hole right now.
Yeah, there's only 4 episodes and they're only 45 minutes, so you'll like blow through it in no time. But
that's okay. I'm weird. I'll watch something. If I like it, I'll watch it twice.
Right, especially if you're sewing and you're not really watching it, you're listening, and then you're like, "Oh, I missed that," and instead of going back to rewind it, you're like, "No, I'm just gonna watch it again."
Watch the whole series.
G.I. Joe inspired outfit. Yep. Should we do full camo or pink?
Well, I was thinking about it, but then like I had the Stolen Valor conversation with Skits, and like if someone dressed like me and wore my patches, I might elbow them. So like I have weird morals and weird lines that I draw of like it's not even that I don't know. I think and I'll tell you why. It's because I grew up super raw Homer American. I literally used to march in 4th of July parades with the Vietnam vets in my Boy Scout uniform.
Yes.
So I think that's what it is. Propaganda works, like I said.
Speaking of which, tomorrow's Memorial Day.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to wear for my live stream. I have my USA baseball jersey. I have my tacky dad flag shirt. I have all kinds of fun USA stuff.
I figured I was going to go with my vintage 1940s red and white two-piece bathing suit.
Ooh. Now
Top that one, B.
America.
Oh, God.
Skits and I could show up in bathing suits and shut the stream down real quick.
Ugly mankinis all around, please.
Actually,
stripes forever.
You know, it's really funny. I saw someone do that. It was gross. It was kind of scarring, and it was for a stunt, and it wasn't even funny. Like, I constantly talk about being a Power Ranger, okay? I'm doing push-ups. I'm in the house doing jail dips because I want to be a Power Ranger by...
Oh, right, for Halloween.
I want to look like one.
Right, because it's not just good to be like the chubby, like, I'm the Shlomo Ranger. I'm the Dumpy Ranger.
Ooh, Uncle Sam. I like that. I have a shirt of Uncle Sam wearing a gas mask. Which
that sounds good.
I had it pre-COVID, and it was kind of telltale because I wore it during COVID, and it was not funny to people.
I think it's funny.
Oh, Ali Bravo, who do you not know? You know, people who make tail makers and hoof shoes. Is that for the people who pretend that they're ponies with their tails?
How do you... Okay, that's a whole other conversation. How do you feel about people that wear them? Like, and I have another question after that, because like right now in a certain community that I may or may not hang out with, have you seen those Astro boots? People wear big rubber boots to look like Astro Boy.
Okay, yeah, is it?
That's awesome.
Probably.
Dusty.
Seriously, yeah, I think I have the last colored 82nd and 101st patches of 1979, but have never worn them. Fair.
I don't like. I have all my dad's old military stuff. We have the same last name, and I don't wear it. I have my brother. He used to, because my dad was obsessed with anything with our last name on it. My brother was a prison guard. I have every uniform of every prison that my brother has worked in, or like furlong shirts, or like certain shirts. I don't wear them because I consider that stolen valor. And we're all the same size.
Now you're just having clothes to keep them dusty.
My son wears them. And people are like, oh, you know, they'll either say, oh, I work there, or I went there.
I thought that's what he was saying is the joke. No, it's the people commenting on the shirt. I get it now.
Yes, the Alibaba knows. The moon boots are the Astro boot, the moon boots. It's crazy, and I see rappers wearing them. Like,
this just makes me think of like cyberpunk goth like outfits from the 80s and 90s with the tubes and the giant black rubbery boots and.
It is signed for him.
Yeah.
That's
patches
awesome.
You had to sign for. Good work. Thank you. I mean, Memorial Day is not your holiday. That's Veterans Day. But thank you to the folks who didn't make it back.
You know, there's an Army surplus store by my house where they you could basically, they sell what I call fake, like they sell sheriff patches. They sell like LAPD patches. Is that legal? Not like I would ever wear an LASD patch, but like, is that, I have an old LAPD uniform. There's no insignia on it. You know, I just like the cut because it was bulletproof vest.
Sorry, I got distracted because I was like, it smells like rain, and it's raining outside.
Petrichor. That's the smell of rain. You know,
oh, you've got your beret on. Thank you.
I just can't stop thinking of Delta Force. I loved those movies as a kid. Oh, Skits, you're frozen on my end at the funniest picture.
Not really?
I can see you.
Okay, good.
Before you come back, I need to take a picture of this picture of you because it's gonna be.
Oh God!
Oh, you darn it! It froze on my end right at the last minute.
We had a whole stream where it would freeze and be stuck like that for like 45 minutes. There was like, I had the craziest poses. But then when I looked back on the tubes, both of us were just talking.
Yeah, I think it's just in my streaming software. Sometimes it just is like, and we're going to poop the bed for a while.
You know what? I'm really into trends. I look up things. Just those moon boots are just goofy, and I'm goofy. I love wearing goofy
I
stuff.
think they're cute, but they make me like 8 inches taller. So I'm like, yes, please. I don't mind being
I'm
more
still
than
mad.
5'1".
I'm still mad at my ex-wife for throwing away my Matrix boots.
Ugh.
What does that hat say?
Nah, it's just...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Earworn.
And that's another thing. Like, I have a bunch of Bennington hats and stuff, but I really don't wear them because I didn't serve on the Bennington.
Right here.
Again, my son wears it. You know, but where's that line? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Because if you saw, I'm not trying to start a controversy, but if somebody's wife was wearing them, you wouldn't say a word to her. But she didn't serve on this ship either, you know.
Technically,
I don't know. Maybe she did serve the ship,
right? But yeah, technically, the line of delineation between stolen valor and not is you can wear any military gear you want. Technically, it's First Amendment rights. But the second you try to profit or gain anything from it, even if it's as simple as trying to get a free meal, that officially becomes stolen valor under the federal law and becomes a crime.
I learned something today.
Okay, so you can't use it at the Goodwill to get the veterans discount.
Exactly.
Good. I have a Gator Navy sweatshirt. It's just warm. I just want to wear it. But I wasn't alive in 1958, so you can look at me and know.
It really doesn't matter. Like, if it's something that's so old that it's nostalgic, then I think that's different.
Yeah, well,
you can wear whatever you want.
Like what my pops served in, it was before Swift bottom boats, and this was all during Nam, and they called it Gator Navy, and then it graduated into Swift water boats. But like it was there a good 7 or 8 years difference.
The only hat I've ever worn of an organization I wasn't part of was the Postal Service. It was completely 90s. Oh, that's good.
Oh, don't make me get my hat box.
you will wear like people's work shirts with their name on it, like, so there's really no difference.
That's true.
It's just somebody's work shirt.
I think
it's a different name on it.
I think it's funny when people call me Muhammad and they're like, no, but your tag says Muhammad. And I'm like, whatever. Or like, I have one that says Bryson, and people are like, that is not your name. And I'm like, how do you not know? How do you not know I'm not a Bryson?
Because I don't think of all the only think I've met yuppie white boys with that name.
You know, it's really funny. I know 2 Brysons, actually 3. Only one is Caucasian.
Okay. Well, are these suburb families?
Yes.
Okay.
We count too, okay? Damn it. We count.
Yes.
Got a badass
from the suburb. You are valid, blacks.
You hit a nerve.
Blacks from the burbs.
Oh man, that is a fist fight waiting to happen in certain circles. That is a fist fight just waiting to. But you know what's really funny? Like, I have family that's from the Deep South, and they're so nice. They call us the West Coast sewings. Yeah. But like, they're so nice. They're not like stereotypical. They don't even make cracks, you know. And I went there. And stayed at their house. They were nice.
Right, yeah. Oh, I have heard about Punchable Face, and Bryson to Kilroy sounds like a punchable name.
Bryson.
Right. Bryson sounds like that the prom king who is now a sheriff.
Yeah.
That is like that's my town.
Who's the quarterback, you know, like. Yeah.
Where I'm from, it's mainly realtors and sheriffs. It's like if you didn't mess up too bad in high school or college, you could become either one.
here, and both of them are somewhat stable occupations. Depends on whether you like to be the boss or boss others around.
It depends on where you live too. Like, I don't want to dog all cops, but where I live, they're a joke. Like, they cannot keep women sheriffs around here because they can't stop harassing them. They, like, their own statistics tell on them. They're like, oh, we're not pulling over Hispanic people. Then how come 80% of the people you pulled over were Hispanic and that you ticketed? You know, and it's
Yeah.
not demographics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was thinking about that whole Dodgers backpedaling, and now the state's going to give the Church of the Unsufferable an award or whatever.
Okay, so this is what happened. The Dodgers told the zombie drag queens, I forgot their name.
Right, it's like the Church of the Perpetual and Great. No, I want to give them a different name than what they are.
Which is weird because anyone who goes to a Dodger game, it's weird if they're not there because you can't miss them. They're in these giant nun costumes, full drag, dripping blood on their face. You can't miss them. You can't, like, 9 inch. They're probably shorter than me, but their heels make them look like giants. You cannot miss these people.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about from the 90s all the way up until, like, I've recently gone to Dodger games and they're still there.
So what about them?
They were asked to not show up on LGBTQIA night, and this is the 10th annual LGBTQIA plus night because Catholic organizations were complaining. Now, keep in mind, we have one of the largest Korean and Mexican populations in America, and they're Catholic. They are both Catholic, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that, but if it's
the
not
Dodgers
tonight,
fans are mostly Catholics.
well, it's mainly, if you really want to get down to it, it's the people that live in the neighborhood, which are mainly Hispanic, which you can literally walk up to Dodger Stadium because it's in the middle of the barrio. Like, let's be real. It's in one of the biggest neighborhoods in LA. So they got uninvited because
and then they got re-invited.
Well, what lost it for them was that the Dodgers allowed Mark Rubio to dictate something to the Dodgers, and our own legislators were like, time out. We're not gonna talk about gay issues or anything. That a-hole doesn't live here.
Yeah,
for Rizzle.
Yeah.
When's the last time Mark Rubio came to LA? Just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean you have LA ties. Let's be real. Get over it.
Right.
Get over it. I'm so done. Like, I'm so done with the politics in general, though. You don't even want to know what I wrote on the LAPD. So what they're doing now is Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw is a pitcher for the Dodgers. This man is a humanitarian. He goes to Africa. He like takes whole missions. He's a super Christian. We used to call people super Catholics. He's a super Christian. He walks what he talks. I respect the guy. He's losing his pitching. If the Dodgers don't trade him, I'll be shocked. But anyways, now he's gonna have a Christian night for the Dodgers. So now they're gonna have a prayer evangelical. I might show up wearing this vest with my Dodger jersey underneath.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the LAPD will probably kick me out.
Yeah, wear the most satanic stuff you possibly can.
I have a Baphomet jacket. I've told the story 100 times. They literally walked. I picked up my mom from the airport. They walked up to my mother. They're like, "Do you know this man? Are you safe?"
Blink twice if you want us to call the police.
Yeah, no, they
blink twice. Oh, thank you, Killer. Yes, Sisters of the Perpetual Indulgence, and their pole dancer was pretty good. What also was funny was the undersecretary for the Nuclear Energy Waste Department who got arrested for the 5-fingering discount luggage used to perform with them also. I was like, it's like, oh, interesting.
So they're not upset about the LGBT event. They're upset about people dressed as nuns.
Yes.
Who are obviously not nuns.
Correct.
Because
but I guess they used to like go into churches and like break up communion. Like they were also disruptive at churches.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. So it's not just the performance that they're performance artists.
It's different here, though. Well, no, it's okay. But I just want to say every other person is gay here, and people move here to be gay. So gay people have say. So they nitpick. You know what I'm saying? Certain groups will nitpick because they it's not like they know, like the Kings. Hockey has a backlash because they support Black Lives Matter and they support they have LGBTQIA plus night. But let me tell you, in LA, when they have Pride Night, mofos show up with money in hand. They're like, shut up and take my money. You're flying my flag, you're giving. So these organizations, they know what they're doing.
I would say, is it more about support or is it more about we know we can make money off of this?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah. Because now, just to appease, they're gonna have Christian night, and so the Christians are gonna get a pat on the head and be like, "Oh, we want it because we can pray." And what, like, I don't know. On the LAP, if anyone looks on Facebook, I don't know if it's the LA Times. I was like, "Can we just shut up and play baseball?"
Right.
I was like, I'm over all of it. I was like, "Can we just shut up and play baseball?" Like, I'm just over the politics. Like, let's just. It's okay to play a sport and not have an opinion on everything.
Right. And why can't sports just be for the sport instead of having to and we're here for this group and we're here for this group. Like, just play sport and take your money, or give them your money and watch them play sport.
I watch sports on mute. I ever since Vince Scully when Vince Scully stopped announcing for the Dodgers, I quit listening to games. That was years ago. I watch everything on mute. Well, because I'm in this room is ADD.
You couldn't hear anything anyway.
This room is the definition of ADD. But I watch most of my sports on mute. I'm over the hype though. Like, I don't know. In my day, when I wake up, I don't know any label that I have isn't forefront. It's like, hey, I got to make sure my kid ate breakfast. I got to make sure,
did I brush my teeth? Did I do my job well? Like, how are you as a human? That's what matters to me, not
I have to get on the road and not be a terror. Like,
is there gas in the car? Did I pack lunch?
Oh, speaking of which, I am so proud of my 1988 Ford F-150. I had to take a trip this morning to damn near LA. My truck made it there and back, and all the way back to my job, which is an extra 12 miles. It's not that far. But the 88 still has it after all these years.
Round of applause for the 88.
I just like that look when people see me tooling in my truck and I'm passing them and they're like, that thing's older than my children.
That thing is almost as old as we are.
That was 5.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gone to school together, but it would have been in junior high. Okay. So I've done something to myself because I kind of fallen in a hole. We need to talk because we're all here. Okay. I have fallen in a hole of trash content on YouTube. So what I did, and it emotionally affects me. I have fallen into reality shows of LGBTQIA plus people. Like it. And when I say reality shows, these people are like, they're obviously not getting paid, but they're getting the exposure and they're on these weird productions and it's different channels and they fight each other, these channels, and they like talk trash between different artists and everybody's something that they're not. It's addicting. So I unsubscribed on my main account and I resubscribed on my Sewing and Ranting with Godless Sewing, which, by the way, I've gained like 17 subscribers and thank you. Whoever has subscribed to my blooper channel, that's just me like in between.
You get what you sign up for over there.
Yeah. It just trips me out. The history guy, look him up. He's the anecdote to junk YouTube. I have so I unsubscribed to all of these channels because they're emotionally affecting me is what I'm trying to say. I get a physical response and I now dislike people I've never met.
That takes too much energy.
That's what I'm saying. And there's this one show I used to watch. I'll call it out. It's called Chasing LA. It drove me insane because these people are claiming to be famous and I make more money than they do driving a tractor. Literally farming alfalfa and hay and making sure that people are safe at my job. And like I make more money than they do. It's called Chasing Reality. If you see African American people, you're on the right channel, Skits. I'm addicted to it.
I see it. You see African American people.
Trey, the Houston is just trash content. I'm addicted to it. Trey Howard, he's a fashion designer. That's what got me into it. Man, he's catty. I couldn't hang with these people. Like, I would just be like, I'm too old for all of this, and I would just walk away. I wouldn't even fight them. And that's another thing. Like, they get in fights. They're grown adults, and they get in fist fights with each other.
Yes, let's see here. Alibaba, the history guy is great. Mrs. Crumb and the Victorian Way is good. And Townsend's. Yeah. And what is it, those two chaps who did the parody of Mrs. Crumb cooking? I don't remember. I just saw. Okay.
See, Kilroy and I are
from my brain.
We're of the same school. It's Jerry Springer in real life. I'm addicted to it. Sounds like they need to chase some money instead of, okay. And this is the thing, like, you can't come to LA and be like, I'm rich. People are like, all right, where's your Ferrari? Where's your this? Like, everybody has money here. You can't just be like, oh, and it just became I went from chasing LA to chasing Atlanta, and now I'm watching Chasing Dallas. And I have unsubscribed and resubscribed on my sock account because I don't look at this phone as much. It's addicting. And they have this this guy named TTB who, like, he puts different channels against each other, and they have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. And like, I study these people because they get tons of views, but I'm not that angry. I don't have the energy to be beefing with somebody all the time.
Yeah, but your audience isn't necessarily 13-year-old boys either.
True. Well, this audience is you know what, my audience is Russian people have now super succeeded Indian people on my charts.
Superseded, not super succeeded. I guess super succeeded works.
Well, they did it like this, so they super succeeded. They flew over there.
Right, Slava is good. Oh, and it's Kiev Day today to all my Ukrainians.
Almost 20% of people subscribed to me are from Russia.
So I'm going to be doing my Big Brother program thing next week.
Awesome.
And so I got more Legos and got the Discovery shuttle.
Whoa.
Like 2,500 pieces.
That's awesome. My when all of his siblings aged out, my brother did a Big Brother program. That's an admirable thing.
Yeah, he's a good kid. 11 years old, and like just will sit down and knock out a 3,000 piece Lego thing. Just sit there and watch. Listen to YouTube. Just boy after my own heart, and watch YouTube, listen to YouTube, and just knock out Legos.
Oh, I'm going to yell at my kid. That whole sentence you just said, that's what Isaiah and I used to do. Now he's yelling at people on his Oculus.
At least we don't hear him this week.
I think he's all screamed out.
Oh, I don't like Ferrari Lambos anymore. My back can't handle the ride. Same with motorcycles now, too. Kilroy, that's why I like old Fords with upholstered seats. They feel like you're driving down the road sitting on a couch. I thought that way sitting in the Benz. But I had to learn. It's got to... Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Oh, go ahead.
Because, of course, I get in there and my feet aren't touching the ground. And I'm like, is there a button to, lower the seat? So I, had to figure out all the buttons so my feet touch the ground because I'm short.
If it makes you feel any better, I had to low. I had to basically reinstall the seat in the truck because it was made like I was like either sitting this close to the steering, so I had to move the screws to adjust it to my size.
That's hilarious.
Because the truck is made for someone twice my size.
Yeah,
I prefer my old truck. But I drive it because it's a tank, and in LA you need protection. And I'm not even talking about like from gunfire. I'm talking about from other cars.
I like my heated leather seats.
Mine aren't leather, but I do like Subaru heated seats.
I had a Mitsubishi Montero, and I'm not fancy. I inherited it from my parents. And every once in a while, my son looks at me and he's like, I miss that car. And I do too. It was all leather, everything. It had an ashtray in it. It was like a luxury vehicle.
Ashtray.
I know, it seems so weird that new cars have USB ports but don't have old-fashioned cigarette lighters.
It depends. Like Bentley, they'll give you an ashtray and everything if you ask for it. They'll make your car open.
Right, but it comes extra.
Yeah, but let's be real, it's a Bentley.
Yeah.
What's an extra couple of grand?
Right. Right. If you can afford it, then it's like, yeah, whatevs.
My brother used to live near the dealership in Pasadena, so we'd walk in there all the time.
I'd like to test drive this one, please.
I just wanted to look at him. I just wanted to look. They knew who we were. They were so cool. But I just look at them. There was at my son's old school, elementary school, there was this young woman. I never knew it. She had to have been in the entertainment industry because she was always wearing gold chains.
Okay. We don't know what type of entertainment, but something fancy.
True. And she had diamonds, like real ones, like past the diamond test.
So she, right. Never mind. We do know what type of entertainment she was doing. And that's cool.
She drove a Bentley. She drove a real Bentley. And I'd pull up in my truck and I'd always be like, you know, that thing looks like a spaceship, right? It looks like a plane. Like without wings. It's so sleek. Like I was scared to park next to that thing half the time.
Let's see here. Yes, Killer likes to work on their own cars. If I knew this sewing machine's going to be enough of it, but Ellie, you're Godless, your new YouTube channel. You could redo leather and vinyl seats in cars. That I understood.
You can actually make a ton of money. There was a show I think, was it called Gas Monkey? Skids, did you ever watch that? It was about a guy who would redo cars in Texas. He actually got really famous. There was a woman that he would go to, and I found it so intriguing. All she did was make car seats, and she was rich.
Yeah, custom stuff is expensive.
Oh, yeah. She had her own shop, and she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she probably had fancier sewing machines than we do.
So the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, I need to go back and see what kind of sewing machine she had.
The nice kind.
Right. The industrial kind.
I've been doing a lot of research, and the best advice I got is if you ever buy a used industrial machine, really look it over. Because industrial means that it's been used 100 million times, Right.
If it's not, if it looks perfect, then it might be. You might have all the working parts because somebody got it and never used it. If it looks worn, it probably is.
Well, I was thinking about buying a used Juki because I want one of those YouTuber sewing machines so bad. I'm just gonna admit it. I'm not gonna buy the Gray Singer. I'm over the cheap Singer.
Yeah, do not get that crappy machine.
Well, and I'll tell you why. It's the one I don't have in my collection. And I just happen to collect Singer.
This is like the unicorn.
No, I need an intervention on that one because the Gray Singer is crap. Unless you're in Drag Race or what's that show? The Canadian one.
The sewing one.
I drew a blank. So Fierce.
Yes.
But they have the state-of-the-art singers, and those things are straight from the factory where you probably can't buy them,
Right.
And I was recently watching Drag Race, and I was I paused it to look at the sewing machine. They have 2023 state-of-the-art singers.
Well, because doesn't Singer sponsor it?
All of those. All if you see a sewing machine in a workroom on television, it's probably sponsored by Singer. At least in American television.
Right, except for Project Runway. That was sponsored by Brother.
I miss that show. I miss all
Yes.
those shows.
A bunch of a dirtbag for bougie machines and sewing channels. You're at our not bougie dirtbag sewing channel.
I know. I'm. Then you're in the right place because I'm a dirtbag who happens to sew.
I know.
Convenient.
I know, I'm not one of these pretentious ones who like leads with my this is and that is.
I have fallen in love with these spans. I like the size. I like how airy they are.
You didn't even just need to sew in a mesh vent for them.
Those always disturbed me my entire life in swim trunks. Those have always, since I was a child, they have disturbed me. I've never liked those mesh nets ever.
Thank you, Allie. Brother and Singer are the same company now.
Which
like both of my personal encyclopedias, you folks are.
that's like I always talk about how my baby lock, my brother Husqvarna, and what else? There's like 4 or 5 machines that all use the same cord. I literally keep it under my desk because I can plug it into like 4 or 5 machines.
Nice.
I think the foot pedal for my Kenmore has the same attachment as my for my Singer Serger.
I wondered about that. There was one time at a thrift store I passed up buying a Juki Serger, and I'm still so mad because I didn't have the plug. And like, under further review, I have the plug. But I don't know if it would work.
I know, but sergers are sketchy. Like, if you think like buying random sewing machines is a problem, but random sergers. Who am I to talk? I just bought a random machine that scares the piss out of me.
You're actually speaking the truth. I'm gonna tell you, this is like deadpan honesty. I have yet to purchase like a used serger that works. I hate sergers. That's why whenever you see a serger video, it's like the serger strikes back, or I hate I literally threw a serger in a garbage can in a video. I hate sergers. They hate me, I should say.
Mine works. I know, because when I got it a couple years ago, my auntie had it maintenanced and it knew where it. I know this one's provenance, so it hasn't been abused too much except for by me, and it's been a hot minute.
They may not be the same corporation, Alibaba, but like we say where I'm from, they're probably made in the same factory. Nowadays, everything is kind of like a subsidiary thereof. At least in America. I don't know how Japan or China goes. China is a dictatorship, so I know that it's one label.
All right, Butterfly has a question. I'm about to sew some lightweight denim with several layers. Do you think a 9014 needle? Do you have a leather needle or a denim needle?
I was about to say, I sew everything with a leather needle. Your needle should work, but I use a leather needle for everything because it will punch through anything. But again, I'm a pirate.
Right. Sergers look scary. Right. All those 4 threads. I know how to thread my serger better than I do know how to adjust the tension and like actually sew with it. I should take it out.
That's so creepy.
What to do with it.
So the people I was talking about, they're popping up on my thing now. Now my Facebook is telling me that I should check on my family reunion page.
Okay. Ellie says use a denim point. Yep.
I use one for everything.
But I'm constantly find my leather needle before I do my cheese boots. I'm not there yet.
It all depends. And I'll tell you, I really don't have luck with thin or cheap needles. And like with my baby lock takes a specific type of needle, so I've like graduated to a whole different gauge and size because they're just a little bit smaller than everything else.
I know I've got they said they're embroidery, but I don't know. I've just got a whole box of like 500 needles that I rotate through, unless I have something specific that I'm like, oh, this needs like a nice needle.
I've tried. I put Singer needles in here and they break. And then I put the baby lock ones in.
That's what I've got.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, they were cheap on Amazon when I bought them. But I was hearing the closet historian has been complaining for a little while now about how she thinks that the Dritz glass-headed pins are not as sharp as they used to be. Is pin quality going down, and are they not as sharp and pointy as they used to be?
Let's be real. It's because of mass production, and slave armies building things don't have the same dedication as it's mass production is ruining everything. That's going to be my second album.
Well, let's see here. I don't Killer. Maybe it's because you're used to the leather needle. Yeah, if you're used to something punching nice and sharp, then a ballpoint's not going to cut it. The points are very specific. Denim needle will not punch through the waft and weave of the denim as much as a leather needle. Oh, good job, Butterfly. You have a 9014 denim. Going to switch it out. Pin quality is going down. I've not noticed a drop in pin sharpness, and I just bought a new box of them not too long ago. Oh, great, brilliant, because I'm still using the same beat-up pins that I've had for years now. Is it wrong? I have a flat box of pins in a strip that's probably like 80 years old, and I am afraid to use them because they're antiques. Am I being dumb?
You know what? I waffle back and forth. Like, I just started using some upholstery thread that is probably from, I want to say, the 60s. And it's still really...
You see my sewing cone?
Right here. It came with a sewing machine, and usually I'll keep these and like not use them, but this stuff is still good. Like, this is better than piano wire. I'm pulling hard on this after all these years. This thing is still... I look for stuff like this because whenever I upcycle or put anything in a denim vest, I need something that's this thick, because when you wear a vest, you're moving around when you're wearing it, you know?
Right.
And if you don't know what you're doing, your patches will fall off.
You need some good silk buttonhole twist.
Oh, yeah, you need technique. Oh, yeah, you got to lock it in there. I even hit the corners. I get detailed when I'm sewing patches on.
Well, that is good to know. Old pins can be resharpened too. I think I need to get myself one of those old-fashioned tomatoes with the pin sharpener edge at the back.
Can I just rub it against my chainsaw sharpener?
I do have grass.
One pin at a time.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you can't do a whole handful of them.
Well, oh man, within reach, I have a stone sharpener. Could I use a stone sharpener on old needles? Asking for a friend.
You mean a whetstone? Need that 6 cords. Yo, good old-fashioned buttonhole twist.
Of my chainsaw sharpener, it's Husqvarna, because they sold my predecessor, and so we have a Husqvarna everything, vests, hats, everything.
Stock.
They're a good brand. Like, they make great sewing machines, great chainsaws, tree cutters.
Right, a lot of small machinery, and my brother printer, fax machine, copier, after 11 years, still runs great. Stone can work, but not as easy. Okay.
You know what, Kilroy? Regular thread will work. You just you just have to be more meticulous when you sew the patches.
I think Kilroy's doing it on the sewing machine. I understand that message correctly. The machine complains, but those patches are on there forever. Damn you, machine! You're gonna take it what I'm giving to you.
I could hear the duh, 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 duh as it's hitting through all the thread. That's a familiar sound in this room, actually. Stubbornness is what I call it. Like, oh no, you are gonna go through.
What is that weird plastic film on the back of?
That's true. Well, dry adhesive, it'll poke right through. It's a little bit more coarse, but that sticky stuff will ruin a needle.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't understand how all these like handbag makers must go through needles like crazy, sewing through all the double-sided tape like on the handles and different places.
I think
I
about
don't
that all
get
the
it.
time, actually.
But I'm really tempted to see if there's a subscription box that's like you get a kit every couple of months or whatever to make a new handbag. Like, why don't we have good sewing subscription boxes? Because it seems like UK's got like the pink door or the pink. They've got a couple, but do we? I don't know if I want it, but I'm curious.
You know, it's really funny. I watch. You know, we both watch Yorkshire Soul Girl.
Yeah, Rowana.
Her and I are the exact same size.
Okay.
Because she said her dimensions, and I'm like,
Oh right, yeah.
holy cow! Like flat foot, we would be looking eye to eye. I like the subscription boxes, but I don't make dresses. Like I'm down to make a sweater. Like her and I are there are certain things where I'm like, oh, I'll make that because we're the same size. I'll go on her.
Right, she
Instagram,
models it off for you, and you're like, oh, that'll look good.
But I'm just not a dress wearing kind of guy. So it's just they don't make. I don't know if I have the energy. Like my sewing box would just be a coat or a duster every week. Here, make this. Have an obsessive habit like me.
Let's see here. Some old sewing machines have the sharpener built right into the bobbin winder. Long bobbin type mostly. They stick out and are noticeable. I don't have any shuttle bobbins. I feel like subscription boxes are a scam no matter what it is. I would agree, but I do like the Ipsy box because then I don't have to commit to a full-size face product and I don't know if I like it, and I like to mix up my skincare routine. They don't use double-sided tape on higher quality bags. I believe that. Why would you do that to beautiful light? That would just be a crime.
Isaiah used to get brick box from Lego or some wannabe Lego.
Oh, right.
Some of the dankest Lego toys I've ever seen in my life. That was cool. Like every week we'd get like a Darth Vader or a Han Solo or something rare, you know.
Yeah, I used to get my kid. They were like science type boxes, though. You know, yeah, they were good though. Yeah, they were from Vsauce. One of the science, his boxes.
I remember that. Oh, I miss those days.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
My kid's all jaded and he smokes cigars and yells at people on Oculus now.
Sorry, I was making the disappointed face when you sew a whole seam and realized your bobbin ran out at the very beginning.
I did. I will like pin. I'll get everything ready. I put my sewing machine down. I turn it on, and I'll go like 3 steps in, and I'm like, I didn't load the bobbin, and I know it's empty because I always have huge projects.
I know. I try to have a stack. Go ahead, Skits.
I'd say anything, but it does remind me that I need to change out bobbin before I start on my next project.
Are those weird box bobbin winders worth it, or do you think they're just novelty? I'm addicted to novelty. Keep that in mind.
I've never used. I don't know if I. Oh, the F is not here. Can't speak to it. Never seen it, and
This is supposedly has a bobbin winder feature thing to it.
Well, there's like a separate, like I'm an Amazon junkie, so they're constantly selling. It's a box, and you literally just put your thread in, and you put your bobbin in, and it winds it for you.
Oh,
but does it wind every style? Like, is it just new bobbins? Is it vintage bobbins?
Exactly.
Is it size specific? Like, it will, but only the modern plastic bobbins, but not an antique metal bobbin. Like, I'd need more.
I didn't think about that because I have every sewing, like every era.
Right. Bill Sewing has 3 fingers of whiskey. One wakes up now.
He does.
Bobbin,
He's
I
like a
don't like
grown
that.
man.
The Sidewinder
Whiskey?
Bobbin Winder want one big time. All right, then we want the Sidewinder Bobbin Winder if that's what Alibaba wants. That
Who's wrong for the
is
bobbin?
wrong for the bobbin to run out. That is the nice thing about computerized machines. It warns you when it's getting low. Yay. Yeah, I think on my Baby Lock, that's probably like one of its only selling features because after a while the automatic needle threader stopped working, so I still have to thread that machine by hand manually.
Kilroy, I could probably do that in this room right now with all the Mr. Wizard stuff I have. Kilroy, you have the greatest idea.
Yes.
I probably could make my own bobbin winder. I have so many bits and bobs and weird things in this room.
I got a lot of stepper motors, and I got Elvis boards and prototype boards. I like to make
Heck
my own
yeah.
electronics. Yeah.
Okay.
My pops was obsessed with making panels because he would constantly make everything look like a 1960s Navy ship, like the CIC.
Because that's what he was used to. He's like, if it doesn't look like this, I don't understand.
If you walk into the office, it's like when you first walk in, there's 5 screens, which are all the security cameras, because my pops was just crazy Vietnam vet. There's the big screen TV, because I'm obsessed with television, and it looks like CIC in a ship. It's just crazy. Oh, that's so funny, Butterfly. I'm not picky. I'm not a sewing snob. I'll take anything that works.
I am very much used to threading by hand with Brunhilde because, yeah, and learning that I need a light on. Like that, Shmuley's got a light. Once I put the bulb on, it's been ages since I've sewn with a sewing machine that's got a light attached to it. I'm like, who needs a light on a sewing machine? Bring it on.
Butterfly, I actually do. What is it? Oh, it's my Janome. I have dedicated my Janome to just being bobbin winding. And someone in Janome is crying right now.
Not another bobbin.
Well, like, I have this obsession with buying these mid machines. And I've learned over the years to stop buying these things, but Janome's quality. Like this, I got lucky. This was like one of the first sewing machines that I bought, not realizing they're not all going to be winners.
You win some, you lose some in the game of sewing machines.
But I wind, this is my bobbin winder, but look how ridiculously huge this thing is as a bobbin winder. This is crazy.
I know, but it's so lightweight. I couldn't.
True.
What's happening?
And yes, I have Kim Kardashian stickers on my sewing machine because she inspires me.
Beautiful.
She inspires me. Like there's still hope for people like me to make millions doing nothing. And I'm not kidding. She got rich just for being rich. Like she got famous just for being rich.
What's happening? Yeah, oh, some days I'm too damn shaky to thread by hand. Thank goodness for needle threader gadgets. Yes, I do have some of those. Butterfly, yes, I have one for 12 bobbins, one for VS, and one for IF.
Oh, I forgot about these fans. These are just glorious.
Okay, now you're going to need to tell me what those acronyms mean because I don't understand. And I'm going to go with one's probably the vertical, the horizontal ones. I don't know. Because can you put one of those horizontal bobbin shuttles on an automatic winder besides the machine it's supposed to go with? Like, who moves like this? I know you've never seen one of those. You are new to the journey of sewing.
Indeed.
More to me of this interesting shaped bobbin with this odd mechanism.
Whoa.
you? Okay. Robin threaded.
BSIF.
We are going from hat addiction to duster addiction to spans addiction. Yes. Singer 12, Singer VS 27, and the improved family machines. Okay. As opposed to the unimproved family. This is the degenerate machine and family. Sorry, kids. Thank you, Alibaba, for your plethora of knowledge.
I just walked over there because I want to.
Okay, brilliant.
I want to see myself on the delay. I love these spans. I have fallen in love with these spans. I have. Oh, look at that. Oh, those are glorious.
I look so good on replay. I look so good in that shot.
No, I like it when people are like, "Hey, where did you get those?" Oh, I still haven't responded on Facebook. I don't want to be pretentious.
No, don't be
Oh, I
pretentious.
need to respond. Someone asked me about a picture. Oh, where is it? Where'd you get that jacket at, though? I can't just say. I made it.
And the house is sewing, B.
Love. Oh man. See, like I have a friend, he's a dude, bro, but he tries. Like he tries so hard to understand and not be a wink.
Oh,
But
that's
like
nice.
dude bro culture is so weird. Should I say I actually made this, or should I say I made this?
I'd go with the latter.
I made this. I made this.
Or it would be actually, comma, I made this.
I made this. I made this smiley face?
Yes.
I'm an emoji. People know I have to show my I was raised by boomers, so I put emojis.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. So Killary's working on sewing patches. Butterfly sewing denim dresses. What else is again? What's wrong with this freaking book? What's happening?
I made this a while ago for a contest online. And if you want to buy it, I'm a capitalist. And I know this young man is the exact same size as I am because apparently there's something in the water where I live. We're all the same size.
Capitalist pirates.
I made this a while ago for a contest online.
My joke is that I made it in my schmata shop, but unless you know Yiddish, then the joke doesn't make any much sense. That's Yiddish for wrapped up.
You remind me of my mom. My mom speaks Yiddish. And that's where I get tchotchkes and all kinds of other things that I won't say.
Yeah, putts.
Schmeckle in your hands.
I love putts. I still call you effing putts. I'll scream that at somebody. What is wrong with you?
I don't know, but these bobbins, this one's overwound, screwed up. I'm gonna have to I don't know what's.
Oh, and he commented on the red one. Yeah. Sorry. No one wears red where I live. So it's weird when someone's like, "Oh, where'd you get that red coat?"
That one I really made myself.
I like that. I love that somebody because I posted a picture in here because I keep my Facebook completely separate from Instagram and stuff because people aren't ready. They're not ready for. I disappeared in 1998, and so they remember that person from 1998, and I was a bad MF, and I still am. I'm just like 30% more gay. And so it confuses the hell out of people, and I feel sorry for them. I'll tell you the honest truth. And there's people I feel sorry for them, so I keep my real life separate from Facebook.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Plus, I'm friends.
Too funny.
My mom's on there. All the Lindas I know are on there. Like everyone over 70. I keep my YouTube pretty PC. I'm sorry,
Your
my Facebook.
Yeah, that makes sense to have one space that's like, if I need to have a professional look or a adulting looking account, it's not my Instagram.
Well, and I also do it to a big middle finger to all the people like, I'm still alive and I'm a better parent than you. Functioning human right here. I do it to like wag a finger in everyone's face. And yes, Kilroy, it is the heat that makes us all under 6 feet tall. And it's really weird. Yeah, because Marquette is my size. Like, there's a bunch of people I know. Its average height around the world is 5. Well, it's 5'8", but 5'9", same thing.
Enjoy being average.
I'm a hobbit, though. If you really think about it, I'm 5'9".
I will not hear. No.
But listen,
no.
I wear a size 13 and a half shoe.
6.
That makes
14.
Me. And how tall
I'm
are
6'2",
you?
so
Yeah,
5 3/4.
I'm really good at swimming. I'm really good.
Just with the aerodynamic head.
I don't even need a helmet. I don't need, no, not a helmet. I don't even need a skull cap.
Yeah, a swim cap. Oh my gosh. Do you think that by the time the next Summer Olympics come that they're going to have a swim cap for the girls to be able to fit their dreads and their like weave underneath or whatever it is those girls wear?
If the NFL can make a size 17 helmet for the dreads, do you know, I want Michael Phelps' cheater suit.
Oh, yeah.
I want that slick suit is what I want. I just haven't justified it. And no one wants to see my dad bod in a slick suit.
Not until you're Power Ranger ready.
I'm getting there.
Right.
I'm getting there.
Kilroy's got a 10 to 12 paddles depending on who makes the shoot. That does make a difference. And you're 6'3". Everybody's so tall.
That's crazy. It's weird. Isaiah wears a size 12 right now. It's just something about my family. We have giant feet. Giant feet for no reason.
You were supposed to be in the water and have flippers.
I wish I lived in the ocean. I wished. I'd be down there with Sebastian singing the song. Damn it, now I have it stuck in my...
And demonetized.
I'm not trying to ruin it too much, but I said this last week. There was a video of Eugenia Cooney dancing to that, and it ruined my effing day. It ruined my day. And when I find out where she lives, everyone's going to jail. Everyone's going to jail.
She lives in Massachusetts at her family home with her parents.
Oh, I thought she lived around here for some reason.
No, she's on the East Coast. And, it's so funny. We're so desensitized, like, that looks shocking, but, like, that Nikocado avocado, you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I think they should both discuss people equally.
I agree with you, Kilroy. I think Eugenia should get banned, and I think Nick Avocado should as well. My son walks up to me and he's like, "Have you seen this video?" And I'm like, man, don't maybe put restrictions on your YouTube.
Right, but then what's the line between like the mukbang Nikocado avocado and like Beard Meats Food or the professional eaters?
I started YouTube I started my channel 3 years ago. I've been like watching on YouTube for 4 or 5 years. 5 years ago, Nick Avocado, let's say 10 years ago, he was my size.
Yeah, he was a tiny kid because he was vegan.
He started losing weight again, as I remember.
Oh, right, yeah, because he lost, 80 pounds to troll Amberlyn Reed, who started a weight loss channel, and is on the opposite. In spite of having cancer and all these things.
Oh my gosh, we're the same height. We're the same height. No.
Yeah, he does. And so does.
Oh, he's so unhealthy.
Oh, what's up with like Foodie Booty in Qatar or whatever her like Muslim husband is like in her hijab, like eat like a crazy
Stopwatch. Just get your stopwatch. Like, okay, as someone who loves dating, culture clashes are real. I dated a young woman who was from Bengal. She was Bengali and she was a devout Muslim. Our cultures clashed hardcore.
Yeah, I can't see that lasting very long.
We had one thing in common. We were really good at doing that, but besides everything else,
you're like, I can't give up Macon for you.
I'm sorry, and I'm gonna say this with love. If you have a dietary requirement, I'm probably not the guy for you. I eat everything. I'm like Kirby.
Except for the things you're allergic to, so that's not true.
Well, I still eat some of them too.
All right, then it's your own damn fault.
Technically, I'm not supposed to touch any cheese or anything, and I do. Because of my lung condition, I'm not supposed to, and
the extra mucus.
Yeah. Now I just have Under the Sea stuck in my head.
Oh, if we need a better song, the episode on Black Mirror that had Miley Cyrus and she sang Head Like a Hole. I literally was like in front of the TV, like bawling.
I need something like that. They were playing Adele this morning at the pot shop, and I almost cried.
Ugh. I don't love her. I had to live in Germany.
I only know that one
years.
song.
I culture clash with every move after that fair.
When I moved out of LA, I had culture crash because I couldn't find my sugary diabetes-inducing products anywhere. I mean, when I lived in the hood, when I lived in MacArthur Park, they literally sell different stuff in different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost illegal to buy like Surge Cola or anything with caffeine where I live, but you can go in the city and buy it in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh my God, okay, so kind of on the same vein of weird stupidness, New York City adding height and weight to protected classes. Like, I know. I could just go on for days. I'm like, all you tell people complaining about your apartments being like, this counters are too short. This is too short. And I'm like, can I get a toilet where my feet touch the floor? And are you going to do it? Or is this just a troll?
And
I got to take off right quick, but it was fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for popping over.
Yeah, and I'll try to hop on Manana with you guys.
Awesome. Good seeing you, my friend.
Have fun, honey.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Now I just have Adele stuck in my head.
Oh, let's see here. I heard a song from the 90s on the classic rock station I was mad. 90s isn't classic rock. I know! That's modern. The 20 years ago was 1960, damn it. Tell me I'm wrong.
I lose it when I hear songs on the oldie station. We have a station here called K Earth 101, and like it's died and been revived a few times, but they play Nirvana on it now, and like they'll play Frankie Valli, and then they play Stone Temple Pilots, and I'm like, my brain can't take this. My brain cannot take this.
The oldie station isn't supposed to play new music. Like, what? Does not compute. Does not compute.
What would you consider, like, I don't know. I grew up like because of my grandparents, like I used to listen to big band music on records. Kids, those were these big round vinyl things that people used to put on players, and they put a needle on it and it would play it.
They're still making new records. The kids might know what records are, but they don't know what a CD or a tape is.
I screamed OF out loud at Walmart when I walked into my local Walmart, and I saw it was a display of vinyl, and I felt like I had stepped in a time machine.
Right. I know, because they didn't even sell vinyl in the stores when we were little. Let's be real. You had to go to like the proper music store.
Yeah. I had a record shop called Tempo Records up the street from my house, and I remember looking up at the records because I was like 4'11". You know, like I was a kid. I
The
hope Kurt
days where I was
Cobain is
small.
enjoying his stay in hell. He killed rock there. I said,
Oh, wow. Kilroy does not like Nirvana. That's a hard pass. Oh, the Glenn Miller Band. Yes.
Wow, that's so weird that vinyl is out selling CDs. I still buy CDs. I'm obsessed with 90s rock, and Kurt Cobain did kill my music. Like I still listen to a lot of the same bands, and he did. See, but the thing is, like, Faith No More is still around. They released an album in
So is
2020.
Korn, and so is, I don't know. Oh, King Missile is not, but they're an 80s band. You know King Missile, yes.
I have King Missile CDs in this house, like within reach. I still listen to King Missile. King Missile's awesome.
Like Cheesecake Truck song.
Oh, what album? I have the album where he's standing over a house with a bomb in his hand. I have to.
Oh, is
Now I'm
that
gonna.
the one that's got detachable penis on it?
I think it. Now I'm gonna have. I'm gonna look. I love King Missile.
Oh, and Sensitive Artist. Oh my god.
I went through this really weird phase where I would listen to King Missile, and I have over 10 David Lee Roth albums. I'm obsessed with David. So I would listen to King Missile and David Lee Roth on my way to Vegas, and I would get hyped. I would show up like, rah, let's gamble. And you know what?
Let me lose some money.
David Lee Roth always had good bands. Yay!
Faith No More is touring again. Yay, Butterfly. The denim needle worked beautifully. My $2 estate sale dress fits. It doesn't look old, lady. Awesome.
Awesome.
We've got a couple projects going on for this Sunday Stitch and Bitch. I'm so excited. Godless is just bitching and not stitching. But
I've been stealing my face off, and I'm always bitching.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that brings me. I've been seeing some of these big YouTubers talk about how if they feel like they need to sew like multiple garments a week, like how is that different from fast fashion?
Say that again. Sorry, I just read Alibaba's comment. I can't do two things at once. Sorry.
That's okay. Oh, David Lee Roth and great stuff. The folks who feel like they need to sew a whole bunch every week, and then how is that different from fast fashion? Like
it's
you
not.
come out with lots of garments a week.
It's not. If you don't have the space like I do, you're crazy. Like I have a place where I can put them. I have an entire room, and I'm about to sell a coat to someone who thinks they're a blood gangster. Like I'm all about it.
Oh, hey Dove. Hey folks. Here's some classic rock that I was playing earlier this afternoon. Forever Changes by Love 1967.
Awesome.
I wish we still had pedal to the metal wild guys like David Lee Roth. Yeah. I just like Van Halen.
Obsessed. I was obsessed as a kid. I have a bunch of Sammy records. Like you put on any Van Halen. I now have walking this. Now I have that stuck in my head. I love the synthesizer era of Van Halen.
Oh yeah, or oh, what am I thinking of? Bauhaus. Bela Ghost is dead, is dead, is dead, is dead.
Where's that box? I've been cleaning and like it's just nothing but nostalgia. I found all Isaiah was really into this show called Adventure Time in the regular show, and I became obsessed with them. They were like written by people our age.
Okay.
And so a lot of the references like are total late 80s, early 90s.
Fair. I think that's a good take, Allie. Fast fashion is making a garment that will not last one season really way different than making 2 garments a week for yourself. Yeah. Especially when we put in French seams and are like, you're being fussy about it. Dove, I used to do a wild David Lee Roth imitation when I was younger.
That was my guy. He's crazy as an adult too. He's crazy in real life.
Yeah. Well, drugs will do that to you. Kids
He's
don't do
crazy.
drugs.
He's crazy.
I can understand making a couple things a week, but sewing a whole wardrobe every week is just being wasteful. Yeah, I feel that way too. The people that I watch who sew garments every week, it is their job fair. Their YouTube channels are pretty awesome and helpful. That is true. Kittenish behavior. There are some folks who are like, I made 80 garments this year, but that is their job.
I end up giving away a lot of like what I make. And anyone who knows me, like if they walk up to me and they're like, "Hey, I really like that," I'll usually give it to them.
That's kind. Oh, Prior Attire is making that is a maker that makes permanent things from different eras, 1400s and up for events and such. Yeah, her stuff is really great.
I was thinking about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to figure out for my own aesthetic how to like take some of those historical things and make them like wearable and workable in my real life, because like hoop skirts and papillons and like those giant loofy Versailles skirts that you wouldn't fit through doorways like doesn't work. And like, what fancy thing, if I can't hula hoop in it's out. Like, I had my combinations, my corset, my petticoat on, and I was hooping earlier today, so it like this outfit passes muster. But yeah, if it's your legit job, it is different. That is true. I just make stuff for me.
Me too. If you're my size, one day I'm gonna walk up to her lawn and be like, "Hey, I have a bunch of stuff for you. Here, we're the exact same size."
Would you like some clothes?
It's weird to me when people say their dimensions, and I'm like, they either look way small. They spatial perception is weird because you never know.
And camera angles.
Yeah, you never know. There was someone I used to stream with. They looked tall, and they were like, "I'm 5'1", and he was in his 40s.
Oh, Butterfly, you crack me up.
That guy needs professional help. That guy was sewing.
Seriously, I don't know how does one human need that many jackets? Everyone was great in the pandemic for social distancing, practical. I know that was like somebody who had like a hula hoop that had a 6-foot diameter. Like, this is my social distancing hoop. I think I heard of that dude. Last I read, he was addicted to making hats, so they sent him to read.
I heard he escaped and he's making lanyards on the side of the highway. Look out for that guy.
Now it's turned into stance, whatever those are. This guy needs some professional help.
I am that guy. I would be if they took my sewing machines away, that's when it would be straight jacket. I'd straight to the loony bin for this guy. Straight to no stop Pesco.
Yeah. No stopping at Aldi's for you.
I'll tell you why. It's a chicken or egg thing. Like, I don't know what I'm more addicted to, if it's fabric or sewing machines. I have no idea.
It's true, because the actual sewing comes second to the fabric and sewing machine habits for you.
There was someone who legitimately told me, they're like, "You actually sew?" They're like, "I thought you just only collected sewing machines." I'm like, "That's a thing? That's a thing?" I didn't know. I live in my own little. I constantly talk about Shaun of the Dead because that's how I live my life. Like, in my own. I should make my own straight jacket.
That would be if being a Power Ranger doesn't work out, you can go as Houdini instead.
What movie was that? The Magician. That movie scarred me. Is that the one with Hugh Jackman? That movie scarred me.
Oh, if you take my typewriter or sewing machine away from me, I'll probably become the next mass hooter. Yeah, well, You don't necessarily need a sewing machine as long as it's the needle and thread. If you take away my needle and thread, that's like the end of the end.
I say that all the time. I'm like, I'm a sewing machine.
I don't need a machine. I just enjoy using them. Oh, why is there thread stuck in my presser foot in the weird way?
I have made so much stuff this week. Where's my okay? So let's have an argument. Which is better,
Okay,
X-Acto knife or seam ripper?
I've not used an X-Acto knife for ripping out stitches, so I'm good. I don't know yet. I heard everybody loves it, but I have enough trouble ripping my fabric with my seam ripper that the X-Acto knife seems like a sure case for holes.
Oh, this is the broken one. Should I throw this away? Am I hoarding? This is broken.
Yes, you are hoarding, unless you're saving it for a costume, in which case you might get some grace, but
No, it came in a really cheap bundle, but I wanted one thing that was in it, so.
you will die of exhaustion if you try to steal my machines, all of them. And Kilroy prefers the X-Acto knife method.
I think about that all the time. Like, if someone ran in here to steal something, they would be more confused. They'd be like,
Right.
oh.
No. Well, they're going to go for the electronics because the valuable sewing machines, they probably don't know the worth of them. They're like, what's doesn't weigh 500 pounds and we need a dolly to take it out of here.
I have quite a few electronics in this room too, though. Take a minute.
They'll go for them first. Okay, depends on the seam. Full knife is better for thick, heavy canvas or leather. Fair.
Sold.
Okay, another random question. Can I do cut work embroidery stitching with this handheld? Can I do that with one hand, or do I at least need a treadle machine to have two hands on the embroidery hoop? Does anyone have an answer?
It depends on your dedication.
I like
how
cut work
long you
embroidery, so I will do it on this machine.
I watched a man hand make patches on a sewing machine, and I was like, I don't have the patience or the hand-eye coordination for that.
Yeah.
He was literally freehand making his own patches.
The only thieves that would have the only thieves that would have to have a shipping container connection. Oh God. I have tried one-handed embroidery. Okay, so it is doable. That's really what the question I think was asking, because I know I can do it on all my other machines, but they're so noisy and Brynhild is so quiet.
Oh, I'm starting to get comments. All the sewists on Facebook are starting to notice. They're like, wait a minute. The degenerate sews?
We didn't know that was a skill in their back pocket.
I'm wondering if they put glue on here, though. We're going to find out together. Oh,
Okay.
They did. Yes, they did. They didn't even sew this on. Did they sew it on?
I need pounds of aspirin to make my own patches by hand. Fair. I have converted a Singer 28 hand crank, took the presser bar out, and use a Singer stripper foot. You need a foot cover. Oh, for the feed dogs? Is that
Okay. I'm gonna have to melt that off.
Oh, that's not very one. Hold on. In one of these boxes.
I have a feeling I'm gonna have to get my hair dryer because this is glued on. The cloth patches. Do you think a heat gun would be overkill? I have an actual real heat gun.
Oh, well, if it starts to melt the synthetic the thread too much, then yes.
Oh, they glued everything on.
Oh, is that this thing?
Oh, they did glue it on. I don't want to ruin the patch. How cheap. How cheap. This is why fast fashion is bad. because they cut corners.
I thought I had one of those, but now I have 3 attaching feet. This foot.
I hate dissolving the glue in kerosene would be overkill. Exactly. Oh, I wondered what that clink was. It was the X-Acto knife falling off. It couldn't handle the glue. I'm so mad. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, as the saying goes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I don't think I have one of those. Okay.
Okay, cool. This one can come off.
Well, then I'll figure it out. Cause on my Kenmore, I just take off the presser foot and I just stitch. I know, because it wouldn't be good to put like tape on there to cover up the feed dogs. I'll figure it out. I'm not there yet with this machine. Because I have 300 plus hour feed dogs. That the feed dog covers are mostly bed attaching though. Yeah, I don't think these guys, I don't have a screw where these are supposed to screw in, and they don't lay flat. Like, Brunhild's funny. Those covers don't. Either I'm dumb, or I don't know how to use it, or they literally just don't work with this particular machine. Once you get the rhythm of the embroidery, it goes well. All right, that's what I figured. Like, it's just like knitting or crochet. Like, you just get into the groove and you're like, do. Because those Indian lady folks just make it look so
they do
therapeutically relaxing.
It's cheating. Like there are certain. I used to say that in my videos. Like I'd be like, look, if anyone makes anything look easy on YouTube, they've been doing it for 20 years.
Fair, yeah. True.
I used to say that in all my tutorial videos. Like, look, we all have to start somewhere.
No, this is true.
And Kilroy, I'm this patch is coming right up, but I am about to go get the heat gun. But I have to get a low yield one because I have professional grade stuff that you can cook. You could cook a cheeseburger on it.
Well, then just use a hair dryer instead. That's something that's on the low setting that won't heat up that high.
And because I'm well, that's not retro, but I have my grandma's. I found a 1990s blue hair dryer still in the box, never used.
Okay.
At my grandma's. So someone gave it to her and she never used it because she was old school.
She's like, I go to the beauty salon to get my hair, and I said, I don't blow dry my hair.
You know
My hair
really
doesn't get wet unless it's at the saloon.
She was one of those. We called her Zsa Zsa Gabor. She was one of those people. My grandma was bougie as hell.
Brunhilde's feed dogs might be able to drop undo the screw underneath the bed tightener. Where's my...
I'm getting a few comments on Facebook.
Underneath the bed. Let's see here. Undo the screw underneath the bed and tighten. I don't know if I'm... Oh, you mean this guy. I think. Okay, there. I do have screws there. And that does look like it's attached to the feed dog mechanism. Okay. Might be in business. My blow dryer is the only way to get my hair to calm down and not look like a mop. I just don't bother. And my bathroom does not have any outlets in it, so if I do blow dry my hair, I don't have a mirror.
I haven't had hair since 1999, so I wouldn't know any of it.
And it takes too long. My hair takes forever to dry, and I just pull it over. Actually, the secret is I wash it once a week until I fudge it.
Oh man, this patch is stubborn.
Hand crank embroidery is very slow. A hand crank is very controllable. I know, that's what I was thinking too, because I see everybody with their electrics. I'm like, they're going so fast. I feel like in the beginning I want to be like nice and slow and calm and like.
I'm weird. I can't think unless I'm going 100 miles an hour. So I like the newer machines because they fly. Like my baby lock, that thing, it flies. When I
I
put
know
the
mine
pedal
has
down.
got like 4 different speed settings. Like my sewing machine
Exactly.
should have adjustable speed markers on it. I know, and so now I have 2 quilting feet, but I don't know where the end attach. I don't have the piece that attaches it.
Oh, whoops, wrong button. I'm gonna look
Okay.
so funny.
You always look funny.
I have a giant window in my bathroom, okay?
Okay.
And sometimes I feel like my neighbor's watching me, but that's just my own paranoia.
Everybody's watching me.
But I love that song. But I wonder what my neighbors think of me. Like, I'm gonna be standing in my bathroom with a hairdryer, and I have a double-sided shower because I like to stand there like this. I stand with both arms out in the shower. It's beautiful.
All right, Tim Latterman on YouTube does good embroidery quilting. He shows dropping the feed dog in the video in his YouTube. I think sweet. One of these days, I'm gonna get one of those gas engines they sell at Harbor Freight and make an ultra fast sewing machine for shits and giggles.
Okay, so let's talk because I've thought about this many a times. Okay, I was thinking about making a steam powered sewing machine, but how can I power it? Would I have to do it like with a copper kettle?
Yeah, because you probably can't do coal because that would be again California would ban you. You'd be like kicked out of the state.
Anything that looks like meth, they're gonna raid your house anyways. So,
Or,
so go big or go home is my motto. No, because what Gilroy said is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make a steampunk sewing machine, but I just don't know how to do it without it going 100 miles an hour.
it's funny. Everyone quoting Rockford. I got this feeling like somebody's watching me this last week. Could use an air tank. It's so funny how songs or different things like are just in the zeitgeist for no good reason.
I do have an air tank right there, like literally right here.
Photonic Induction Channel has super high speed Singer 99K. Whoa, somebody souped up a 99K. That's like putting a Lambo engine into a Toyota.
I need to look that up because the only thing that stopped me from doing it is that I've hurt myself a lot in my life. And so the older I get, I don't recover like I used to.
Oh, was I
So like stubbing a toe feels like you break a foot. Like when I fall off of things, I feel like I'm dying or I broke a rib.
Yeah. It happens.
But I want to make a steampunk sewing machine. And I know I'm not the first person, but it's a work in progress.
I like the bandoliers with the spool on them, I do have to say.
That's not a bad idea.
I know, they're so cute. I think I was supposed to sew a channel and not just. Oh, we'll finish this French seam and then I'll figure out how I'm gonna make it fit.
And I have all kinds of tanks. I have tanks outside. I have but even with air pressure, you'd have to have a regulator. There's with everything presents a different problem. That's the engineering behind a steampunk sewing machine. And I just flat out don't have the time to putz around because I have quite a few failures that may never see the light of day that are just in parts. I have a couple machines in here that I have taken apart for used parts.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Frankenstein's monster needs its pieces from somewhere.
Frankensurger was that wasn't just a fluke. See, but that was an experiment gone right because I combined 3 surgers and made one that worked.
Yeah.
So like I always say, when people talk trash about hillbillies, if it works, it's not ghetto. That is true, Gilroy.
Right, a regulator. And where would the steam come from? Is it going to be coal-powered, wood burning?
Oh, that's
generator.
I have all kinds of stuff. I have weird burners. I have a burner for a giant wok. I have a burner, an outdoor burner. I have one of those propane heaters. And I'm not bougie. I didn't buy it. Someone gave it to me at a job.
I'm going to BRB real quick here.
Okay. No worries. Let me put that guy down. I'm bringing the my hat back. That's all. I'm just trying to relive my youth. This hat is 22 or 23 years old. Kettle power. That's what I was thinking about. Alibaba. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Just power it like you would moonshine. Because a copper kettle, I know how to get that up to temperature real quick. But like I said, where I live, if you make anything that looks like you have a drug lab, they're going to storm your house. They do not play around here at all in any way, shape, or form when it comes to that. See, now I'm back on. I shelved that idea. I shelved that idea for a while because I was like, you know what? That's way over ambitious. But I literally have I have the equipment here. Get a used pressure cooker and hook up the steam line out in regular whole stack. That's not a bad idea. Regular down the line bit straight into the turbine fins. That's not a bad idea. I made a space bucket and was successful, so I know I can figure this out. And I just saw a space bucket on YouTube and was like, "Oh, I'm going to try that." And I made a space bucket and had a tree, so I know I can do this. You could do what they do with historic steam locomotives nowadays. They use natural gas. I didn't think about that. I may or may not know this place that has an endless supply of diesel.
Okay. Are we in this? We haven't talked about food yet, so is it time for the snack section of the week?
I ate before. I had a huge burrito before we got here.
I know. We haven't even talked about food. We've got Lay's Max Extra Crunch. This is crab and curry flavor from my snack dealer.
You guys have way better snacks up there than we do.
Well, I know a guy who knows a guy who has a family business that they might do import-export things. So, but they're working on it. The website will be up and running shortly, and they ship internationally.
Ooh.
For my Canadian friends.
To that person who subscribes and unsubscribes me every week, come on. We've been doing this for over 2 years now. Someone subscribes and unsubscribes to me. It's got to be the same person. It has to be the same person. I have I feel privileged ever since I have a real troll now, so I feel privileged. Like I finally have made it as a YouTube. Someone actually hates me. Always have a pressure relief safety valve though. You know, it's really funny. I have quite a few.
Sorry, I got
No, go
distracted.
ahead. I'm grabbing my Lay's
Lay's
spicy dill.
spicy dill pickle chips regular cut. I'm a crinkle cut human. If I had my druthers, I'll eat the flat ones, but I like the crinkled ones just taste better. I don't know why.
Oh, Kilroy, you're making me hungry.
Ooh, big pot of sauce and spaghetti. I got some rum that's calling my name. Go for it. I've got White Claw Surge.
Alibaba,
Or
I attract
with
that
two
kind of.
personalities.
I date those people. That's my dating pool is crazy people. I'm addicted to crinkle cut. Do you know? I'm not saying this to be political or anything. I've never been to a Chick-fil-A, and I've said that a couple of times, but I think I might go.
I haven't either, but my friend, the joke between one of themselves and one of their kids is they go out for homophobe chicken and they don't tell the rest of their family because they like it so much.
I watched these two extremely gay men. That he's like, you know what? I'll take my chicken with the side of homophobia. I don't care. It tastes good.
That's what they've decided at their house. Yes, crinkles hold the salt and spices better. I concur.
You guys are making me hungry. I jump off about every 6 months. I stop eating chips because I have a guacamole obsession.
Yeah.
And I'll eat guacamole with Lay's. I'll eat them with Ruffles. I'll eat them with, at this point, I've been eating guacamole for a long time.
Your blood type is guacamole.
Oh, that's why I thought it was crazy when people said like, "Oh, yuppies eat avocados." Like where I'm from, avocados are like everyone eats avocados. I'm still mad.
Yeah, but
2 weeks
that's
still
because
talking about it.
they're native there and they're cheap. When avocado is $1 an avocado, that's rich people food.
They're getting like that here though. The Haas are $1.50 each now.
That's stupid. And you look at it and it's like gone bad.
I check them because they get gross real fast.
Yeah, they do. Up until 2 years ago, I always seemed to be bait for complete psychos. Oh, I'm sorry. I have sparkling water calling your name. Good job. Somebody's being healthy.
That is one thing I don't talk about. I do drink buckets of water. It's important. It's important. I love that saying that says like we're like houseplants.
It is true. And when it's only like 18% humidity, dehydration is real.
I drink coffee all day too.
I mean, don't go there if you don't want it to be a habit. Their nuggets are the best. Where I'm at, avocados are expensive and you can only get them at certain times of the year. They're bougie here. I know, I joke, like, when I was a little kid, unless we went to, like, the Mexican restaurant and, like, had this, like, tiny little ounce of guacamole, they didn't even sell them in the grocery stores. Like, I don't even know. I think I was, like, 18 before I saw what an avocado, like, actually looked like.
That's so weird to me. Like, it's part of my diet. It is literally part of my diet. Even my son will eat it, and he's one of the pickiest humans on planet Earth.
I know, but on the East Coast in the 80s and 90s, it just wasn't a thing.
It all started in the UK. It's considered a rich people food, but let's be real. Like, you have to be rich if it's gets on a plane and goes all the way to the UK, you know.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, because they don't grow over there. They don't grow in New York either. Or in Pennsylvania, for that matter.
Culture is such a weird thing. I didn't realize how much of a Southwestern American I was until I started traveling around.
And you're like, what do you mean that you don't have avocados at the grocery store?
You know what? I still think it's weird that we do not have a Waffle House in California. But the second, on the Arizona border, on the 10 from Blythe all the way to Savannah, Georgia, there is a Waffle House like every 5 miles.
There's none around where I live, where I am at either.
So it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah, they just don't exist.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
I know, I didn't see one in person until I was 19 or so. I knew they existed and what they looked like from the Food Network. Correct. I'm going to have to go with Kilroy on this. Yeah. They just weren't a thing.
I hadn't been to a Whataburger until I was in my 30s.
I still haven't gone into drive 15 miles to In-N-Out Burger either, though. Or Five Guys, or it's been a while since I went out to a restaurant for a burger. You should see the peppers out of Cali. They're all classified the same, hot and green.
Oh, I would die laughing. That's like, my grandmother was from Mexico, and so what she called chili was a little bit different. Like she called salsa chili.
Okay.
And so it'd get confusing to people who were not
Right,
indoctrinated.
is this a food, right? Are you talking about a vegetable or a food dish?
She'd be like, I'm craving chili, and people would buy her chilies.
Did you? What? I bought some guacamole Taki chips today and had 2 handfuls and decided to share them. Who are you sharing said chips, human?
With my coworkers.
I have never had Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, or others. Right. But you've got poutine, so you might have us all beat. You don't have crappy American food, but you do have poutine.
To be fair, I overindulge at work. I go to restaurants. I'm like, I'm by myself. Like I go off it. I have bougie lunches and breakfast. Well, I eat breakfast. I'm a hobbit. I eat breakfast for everything. But like I go off. Oh, that's funny.
Now I'm disappointed because I've never had Takis and they didn't make it to my house to be shared.
And you know what? The Chick-fil-A thing, it's political, but it's not the political thing that you think. It's that people in my town are just bougie. And it's on the super richy bougie side of town that I just don't go on. And I'm going to go to the can real quick before we start talking about Target.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's... I have words about Target. Dove says they'd like to try Chick-fil-A but never have. Yeah. Because we don't drive 15 miles for fast food. The best gravy and cheese curds, yes. Oh, and the second best potatoes, or even the best. I know, poutine. But it's like Thanksgiving. Gravies and potatoes and cheese. What could be wrong about that? Takis are too salty, and I adore salt. That is saying much from a salt liquor. That came out wrong, but probably not. All right, French seams on trapeze boots, almost done. Except I'm not going to be able to finish these tonight because I was going to iron. Because I don't have enough of those like bougie clips, and I don't think my vinyl would like to be pinned through. Does anyone know how to remove a jean button with the rivets thing on the back? Pliers, but you're going to make a hole if there's a rivet in it. The question I would ask first is, how am I going to fix the hole in here and then figure out, or just like embroider a flower over it and just cover it up?
I haven't ever done it successfully. Ever. So, man, first off, my ex-wife must be hurting because she has not called me. So I know she's going through it.
So you still haven't matched them back up together yet?
No, they're not back together. I tried to hook them back up together, but she's done, I think.
Well, okay, then if they're done, then don't try to force
No, and
thing.
And she like she had to like her mom owns a house. You know what's so sad? We are from the suburbs, so we get inheritance. Like we're awful. We are bad people. She'll be fine.
No, you're just privileged. That doesn't make you privilege just doesn't mean bad necessarily. It's how you flex or use it that makes you bad.
Well, I'm glad I was raised by the real Fred Sanford, so I don't buy Ferraris like my neighbor.
No, you just buy sewing machines and look like you live at the dump. Sorry,
I would
that
rather
just
look like I
really
live.
came wrong,
I would
but
rather. I would rather look like I lived at the dump than like these people that wear Versace suits and stuff. It's like, bro, get over yourself. Get over
Yeah.
yourself. I I have a neighbor who wears Louis Vuitton while he's walking around my neighborhood. And he has a different coat on every time I see him.
I don't have that much closet space.
Those
Right.
coats
What
are
are we going to
not.
rant about Target? Are we going to have the Target rant that I've been trying to
Okay.
avoid having and didn't want and like not talking about current events?
I don't
That shit
care.
is-
I really don't care what side of the fence people sit on. Stop going to Target and fighting people. They don't get paid enough. They don't get paid enough.
Oh, the video about these black folks, half of them with masks, are like raiding a Target, looting it to holy heaven. And then somebody was like, look at what the MAGA Trump folks are doing at Target. And I was like, I don't think A, these people voted, and B, I don't think these were Trumpers. I didn't see a red MAGA hat in all the whole hoot of them.
That footage was probably from the George Floyd footage. A lot of the stuff on Twitter was from the George Floyd. Like they're trying to, and that's another thing. They're trying to make this bigger than what it is. Target does this every year, and they have for effing a very long time.
Yeah, but they didn't. I think the issue is that it marketing. Well, whatever advertisers marketing for Pride is one thing. I think what people are getting really pissed off is like this notion, whether it's true or not, because I've not gone to look, about like binders and tucking bathing suits for kids. I think that's
Okay.
where people are like, now you've crossed a line because you've involved kids.
That lady grabbed, the person on Twitter grabbed what is advertised as an adult suit and walked into the kids section.
Okay, right. Okay, so that's different.
The Target has not made any kind of binding stuff for kids because where I live, it's illegal. You
I guess
can't
not.
do that.
I guess maybe in Canada they're like letting it get a slap by. Well, we can talk about what Maid's doing for poverty in Canada next.
People dress in ultra flashy stuff. It make Gilroy, like my dad was rich. Like he was rich for real, and he dressed like a homeless person. And he'd always tell me like money's and like real money's invisible. Like people that have like large amounts of money, you'll never see it because they're not showing it off.
I know that's when I worked in retail. It was like you always be nice to everybody because the people who come in looking like the dumpiest are probably the most richest folks you're gonna see. Maybe. Yeah, so I guess Canada's made some interesting choices. People who we got all that stuff. I have a trust fund baby with Small Johnson. Yeah, illegal like head binding and feet binding. Yes. And yeah, repressed juvenilism, aka forever teenagers. I think if clothing wasn't so gendered, that might help puts really some of the pressure on this valve. Look at Warren Buffett.
I'm a forever teenager.
Money than the Pope and drives a 30-year-old car. Exactly.
I just okay, see, here's my thing. A lot of what's being said about Target is false. And in my town, I live in a very Mormon town. These people are going to Target and yelling at some 17-year-old kid. Like this kid is just trying to get a summer job. Like literally, leave Bobby alone. Leave Bobby and Timmy alone.
Yeah, I think that misplaced rage against what the corporate offices are doing versus what the minimum wage part-time employees are getting.
And I don't want to age myself.
Is two different things.
A long time ago, I worked at a Carl's Jr. and there was a Paris Hilton commercial Okay. Paris Hilton was dancing on a car. People would call the actual Carl's Jr. store and complain about the commercial. And I'd be like, bro, I literally make $8 an hour. Like, I
Right.
can do nothing.
This is above my pay grade, and I had nothing to do with this thing. Sorry.
And it was a long time ago when that commercial was, but people lost their brains when that commercial came on.
Yeah, I think we just need to get rid of all these like month celebrating stuff. Like I celebrate everybody every day, and my human and I were joking about this yesterday in the sense that I might I'm just gonna say what I said, that I'm racist because I hate everybody equally. I don't care the race. I hate you all equally.
You can't tear
Thanks
that
for
out
that.
of me. No segregation, no separation, just me. That's Slayer. Just me in my world of enemies. That is literally Slayer.
Let's see
I say
here.
that all the time.
Right, the corporate office calls the workers, the frontline workers. Right, they get the shit end of the storm, but being civil on the phone with Target corporate doesn't make you feel good about yourself or get you social media points. Right, because there's no throwing over, breaking signs, demolishing property.
Look, I have beef with YouTube right now. If I saw someone, if I walked into the YouTube office in Santa Monica, I'm not going to spit on the receptionist. It's not her fault.
Right, because just be polite. Right, because it doesn't help either cause. If you are nasty and violent and breaking the law, regardless of what side you're on, I don't care for your way of I don't care for that behavior. Be civil. Dayton family is related by marriage to the Rockefellers that are the town founders of Target, and they're eugenicists. That there might be something to that.
And well, they were the first they started the third what I call the 3-bathroom debacle, to the point where look, I'm gonna say something that ticks people off. I just had to pee one day, okay? I was at Target. I went in the third bathroom. I came out. People were looking at me, and I was like, I just had to pee, you mother effer.
Seriously,
But nobody was going in it. So I was like, shit, you guys aren't going to go. I'm going in there.
Right, if there's not a line and you've got some privacy, depending on what you got to do, you're like, I don't want everybody to hear me. And that's like what was that person? I think they were formerly in Canada, might have moved down, who is like suing everybody with the YMCA's of like, I'm still intact, but I want to use the ladies' room. Like, I was trying not to go down this pathway this week.
But I'm gonna tell you, like, because I'm a I don't care kind of person, but like the Dodgers. Okay, let's go back to the Dodgers. People have been fighting in my town so much. I'm like let's just play baseball. Like, let's just go back to whoever buys a ticket can walk in no matter what you're wearing, because that's how Dodger Stadium always was. That's why the drag queen nuns were there in the first place, because they walked in and got popular.
Right. And their dancing, what I saw from their performance are the aesthetics on the with the human on the cross and the way the splits and the control was pretty good athleticism. So I'm like, there's some, but then it goes back to, I was thinking about this earlier, like how the sideshows and the dark performers were always like, we didn't put ourselves on the main strip. Like, I keep thinking about going back to like, I've got stretchy skin, too many sterile needles. I'm like, what if I put together a piercing act? That's not a kid's show. I know what's an adult show versus what's a kid's what I would deem child friendly. And that type of act, I wouldn't perform that in front of little kids. Like that's the hardcore adult show.
Okay, but where do you draw that line? Like I've been to Civil War reenactments. I've been to Wild Wild West reenactments where they're firing blanks, and that you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's historic. I think that's different. Like learning about history and having some historical or learning about how history was is not the same as like purposely trying to torment somebody or like to push uncomfortable buttons.
I agree with Alibaba. It's a sideshow for a reason. We have all these issues because, and I'm not saying, oh, the powers that be, because no one wants to admit we're broke. State of California, people always talk about how the state of California is the third largest economy in the world. I hope not. I hope not, because we are broke. We get our water from everybody else. We get our power from Arizona and Nevada. Like, I hope we're not the third largest economy in the world, which we are, but.
My giant box of sewing machines, Schmidt's needles.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think there's let's see here. These are.
I've
There's a
really,
crap ton in here.
I've really had to stop myself lately. They've been selling all this like really weird singer crap at my local dollar store, and I know it's left over from a sewing store somewhere, and I don't need any of it. So I have to stop myself. I bought all the odd bobbins. I bought all of them because I have classic sewing machines, you know. So it's not like I'm like going to the swap meet and selling them. I'm actually using them.
Right. Yeah, so if you have any of these flat bobbins for this weird Eldridge improved rotary as opposed to the original, I wonder what the original flavor was, if this is the improved one. That just makes me laugh.
You're making me want to pull all my attachments out. I might move my wall of Columbia House Star Trek movies. I have a wall of Star Trek movies in front of a toolbox.
Because of course. Where's the
Probably
leather needle?
4 feet high. Probably like 4 feet high. I'm a geek. I collect. Well, I actually used to get Columbia House, and then in my travels, I just started buying them.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Exactly. Is that in my... Here, human, could you get that Bakelite dish for me, please? Of Grandma's. That yellow one. Thank you. You can leave the lid.
I forgot about this. Alexa,
Okay.
do you have a notification?
No. Sorry.
2 months ago, you bought an Ace Bucket Pack on Amazon. How many stars would you rate it? From 1 to 5.
5 stars.
Thanks. Your rating will help other customers make better choices.
Alexa, thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to help. Hope you enjoyed your weekend.
Oh, this does translate. Okay. So I know I order a lot of stuff on Amazon, okay? And I've had a lot of misses lately, but I ordered this Energizer flashlight, and this thing is better than my freaking mag light. This thing is so bright.
Oh, that is good. I do think my neck, like, I should check the batteries on it, though. Anyway.
Because I have this too, and I don't. This is a 6 cell.
Oh,
This
that's
is
like good. Shh. That's a freaking that's.
Don't
Is
break
that
in my
legal
house.
in the state of California?
No, I think they're illegal, but they did that because the cops were the only ones that had them, and then the technology changed. So this is probably still illegal. This is a 6 cell D battery 6 cell mag.
Okay, let's see here. I have 2 white rotary bobbins and no white rotary. Well, I will gladly unload your white rotary bobbins if you want to message me, and I will pay for shipping. I mean, I'm LGP. I'm all the letters as fuck, and I think that both sides need to calm the hell down. I agree. Turning everything into life or death impassioned struggle does nothing to help anybody or advance
Everything.
the conversation. I concur. And the people who were like the truest to all of the things, what are the ones who are like quietly at home with their sewing machines and typewriters and mechanics and
I live my life.
The assholes.
And I'll tell you, I'm more manly than Ben Shapiro. I drive a tractor and spit on the ground.
I love attachments because they look so cool. I don't use them and need to.
Same.
If you have the hemming feet, you will never press another hem in your life if you got a good hemmer foot. I use the bobbins as bait for getting a white rotary. That's good. Oh, that's good. I have the part that's hard to find that you might not have. You will come to me, white rotary. Seriously, Brunhilde, my white rotary, she's a freaking dream and a half. I've not sewed on another machine since November when she came to live at my house, which is why I've got one really big muscle and one wimpy muscle. It's like if I had other parts, I could have another excuse for having one big forearm, but I don't have that excuse.
I was just about to say that's the first time I've ever heard someone say that in English. In Spanish, that's a very funny saying that we say to each other. I bet your right arm is way bigger than your left. And it's really funny when you say it to someone in Spanish. When a man said it to another man, they're like, get out of here. Get out.
You're like, you've not done it enough. And I say they should both be equal.
You know, I can't say that I don't use my attachments, but it depends. Like,
I thought you were gonna say you didn't use your left hand.
I'm ambidextrous. Are you kidding me? I walk around with a 40-pound weight just to offset on this one. I really do, though. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Would you also like
Winter.
to check the high for today?
Winter. Alexa, no thank you.
I'm trying to
Sorry,
get
I'm
all
not
the
sure about
silver
that.
lotion attachments from 1863 and up. I know, because you've got that fancy cording that there's a foot that I lust after. What a world where Energizer is better than a Maglite. Seriously, I use the bobbins as. Oh wait, I got to that one already. Yes,
It's the technology.
I think that's really funny.
It's the technology. It's just caught up. It's just really, my Maglite is probably I don't know, 25, 30 years old. Like, this is old, but because this is just a big metal tube, it'll never stop working. This will always work because it's just a big metal tube, you know? Yeah, don't break in my house.
Should we do an experiment sometime where I've never used my twin needle and I have two of them. Do we put a twin needle on my white rotary and see what the hell happens?
Do it. You know,
I love this kind of peer pressure. I was like, I messaged on Twitter yesterday. I was like, I think I'm going to go pick up this machine. And I showed the pictures. And I was like, okay. So again, I had my second parking lot. This one was a drugstore parking lot sewing machine deal. I felt super fancy. I texted friends. I was like, all right, I'll let you know when I get home so you know I didn't get kidnapped or deleted. Picking up a sewing machine.
It is sketchy. Buying stuff on the streets is just sketchy in general. It really is.
It is. And the electrics on this. I'll take a better picture so I can. Oh, I'll take a picture. Send it in the private chat tomorrow so we can do this. I'm going to dig out that old machine to see if I get it unstuck and working again. I'd actually be able to find attachments for it. No, never use a twin Brahmin on Broomhilda. Okay. All right. Alibaba says I'm not allowed. Don't do it. Yikes. Oh, wow. I don't even know if I have all the access covers for it or if some are lost. Okay. Well, I guess the twin needle on Brunhilde has been shot down by people who I trust, and I'm going to let my eat devil shoulders say you've been blocked because the smart folks are telling me no.
And I'll tell you, Kilroy, always pull your old machine out, oil it up. You'd be surprised. Just like this baby lock, all I did was put a little bit of oil on it, and I use the machine now every day because my Husqvarna and I are not talking right now. You never know. You never know. To me, sewing machines don't die. They're just not working at that time.
It's true, but I'm afraid to plug her in, but my ear of diagnosticians can tell me. What do you think about the sound?
I'll plug it in. It sounds healthy.
I know. There's one little clack at the back, but she sounds good. I took out a little rat's nest. You could shoot your eye out. That second needle could snap off and fly. Okay, I won't do it. I'll save it for my electric machine, but that seems even more scary on an electric machine.
You know what's really funny? I'm so glad you said that, Alibaba, because I've always wondered about that. And when I'm like taking sewing machines apart, I always stupidly put my face right in because I'm not wearing my glasses.
You should wear goggles for that. They have safety approved technical eyewear for shit like that.
In this house, I have every kind of welder mask, welder's gear, every kind of like eye cover you could possibly think of.
Okay, I get it. That's true. There's only one hole in the needle plate feed dog stuff. You are correct. I see only one hole, one needle. We're not. This is not a blog. There's no DP on this sewing machine.
Not that kind of party.
That came out.
I'm there. I got it. I'm in the gutter right there, waiting for you.
Right, we're at the
Hey,
almost
Phoenix.
3 hour mark. My sewing machine is just a single shooter, not a DPer.
Yeah, nope. You don't want to put too much pressure on your sewing machine. I'll never talk to you again.
No, she's lived longer than I have, so I don't want to. I want to keep all the holes nice.
Are we really about to have this conversation again? I had a conversation with my ex-wife last night how threesomes ruin lives. So, if
So
single machine, single needle,
and having 4 better than 3. Is it 3? Is it the odd numbers thing?
when I met her, she was poly, and so I just asked her some very poignant questions last night, and she was like, "No, like threesomes ruin lives." She didn't end the conversation with it, but she was like, "No, it just no." Doesn't
Don't pack the whole thing with grease. You just gotta lube it where it needs a little lubrication. There'll be problems if you over lube her. Or him, or it, or whatever you call your machines.
As an over luber, just put a candle and play some Barry White, and you'll be fine. God, I haven't told that joke in forever. I need to bring back all my cheesy dad jokes on my videos. I'm bringing back. In my old videos, I used to say all a sewing machine needs is a little bit of lube and Barry White. I miss my old cheesy jokes, but it's true.
It is true.
Alibaba or anyone in the chat, have you ever heard of a sewing machine brand called Nelco? I have a Nelco N100.
I haven't. I don't know a lot about fancy sewing machine brands. If I have, it's not that fancy.
No, it's actually a low grade machine, but I fell in love with it. I bought it for $20 or $30, table and everything, because the people they were just like this. It didn't have a plate on it or anything, and I got it going. But that was the first machine that I got. I played Barry White, but I said all it needs is a little Barry White and a little bit of lube.
Like, we can do this. Come here, baby.
And YouTube will copyright strike you even if you play it on your phone. I know this for experience.
Oh, right. You gotta auto tune and slow down and modulate the shit out of that shit. Did I lose my phone so I could take this picture that I want?
My Nelco N100, I just like it because it's retro. It has that 1960s look. It's an N100, I believe. I can't believe I still remember that after all this time. It's awesome. I got it going. I just had to adjust the tension, and it was it's just the funny thing is I had it sitting here up until I bought that white rotary. I would sew on that thing all the time. But it's buried in the corner behind Master Chief now. See, I knew you guys would know about the Nelco. I love my Nelco N100. I have it with the original table and everything. I just haven't I just didn't know too many people would know anything about a Nelco.
Yeah, there's a problem with this machine because half of the wires are covered with like hemp on the bottom. Some hippie tried to do electrical on this machine.
What, in Oregon? There's hemp on the machine? I'm shocked. This is my shock day.
Let me upload the picture so I can share it because this is
Poly
like a
relationships can work, but everybody involved has to be in the right on the ball. One person falls behind. Yes, I agree. I'm not a poly kind of person. I don't dog on anybody who's in that lifestyle. I actually know someone I grew up with who lives in Texas, and he's poly.
Yeah, it just involves a lot of good, honest communication, and if you don't do that, then it's never gonna work, or you're just a douche.
Alibaba just taught me something about my sewing machine. It is the ZZ. I've always wondered because when I look it up, I'm like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have that. But I literally do. Oh, that's funny. Oh, they're becoming collectible. I don't know if I would sell it. It has a weird sentimental value because it was like one of the first that I got going from it was trashed, and I got it going. Excuse me.
I know. I figured if nothing else, then Shmuley's going to be my like learning machine of how to fix stuff.
Butterfly, I know you were talking about sewing machines. We are all innuendo here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We weren't. It's my.
But I legitimately have a Nelco. It's wannabe 301. No, not a 301A, a 404. It's the same color. I love it. I love it. Now you have to name that machine ZZ Top. Boom.
Yes.
Let it be known as ZZ Top.
Oh.
Do you know what's so sad? Like, I make certain references and people don't know anymore. I'll be like, oh, that guy looks like he's in ZZ Top. And people are like, what?
Oh,
Now I just have the OJ stuck in my head that money, 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 money. They're pre-made wiring and the motor for the L Ridge. Interesting. Like I said, sometimes you have to plug it in, but I'm going to cry if you plug it in and this whole stream shuts down because it shut down your whole house.
Oh, no. Can I? Let's see here. Share. Show on stream. This is my wiring. Can I make this one? No, not me big. Make the screen big. No. What is happening?
It took me a minute to figure it out.
There we go. Can I make this extra big?
Okay, that does look like gas station sushi. It is a bit sketchy.
Yeah, I'm like, there's sketchy electronics, but like, I can moving my cursor like everybody can see it. This looks like hemp around metal wiring. There's a piece that's like, this is attached to the bottom. This is electrical tape from God knows how long. Wiring and motor. All right, I'm gonna have to fix something because, like, I want to plug this machine in, but everything else, there's no exposed wires. Nothing else looks completely frightening. It's this that I'm circling in my imaginary world that scares the poop out of me. And I think this is for the presser foot, since I realized where, like, one of the one cord is from the motor to the wall, the other is from the presser foot to the wall, and somehow the twain shall meet.
I was looking for one of my old cords, but if I showed you I have like I don't know, quite a few of these over there, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But somewhere
the original electronic or the electrical wiring from this house probably is about the same age as this sewing machine, so I'm super scared. That's
yeah, be careful. My house was literally rewired by an electrician, by a professional.
Yeah, no, mine has fake grounding in it. Let's see here. Someone else I know needs help on their Eldridge too. Oh, that's funny. Alibaba is the hemp stuff. She's talking about the wire covering that is similar to the covering for the motor to the electrical receptacle and a featherweight. What is that stuff? I don't know. That electrical is an insurance claim denial. See, that's what I'm saying. Needs to be redone for sure. Don't plug it in. It is not hemp. It is original cloth shielding and is gone. All right. Sketchy, send it to. Oh, God. Butterfly's got the best. All right. I'm going to ship off a 50-pound sewing machine to somebody else. I will wait till Godless takes a road trip and then we can do it at my house because it'll probably be cheaper in gas to drive up here than for me to send it. And I kind of would like to learn how to do it.
That killed me though when I first read that, because I am just sketchy enough to plug it in. I am like, I live on the why not? Says the guy who literally plugged in a white rotary and it shot out a 2-foot flame in this room. And I thought I was recording and I wasn't. I'm still mad about that. I thought I was recording.
Yeah, but you own your house and you know the quality of your electrics. I am down on 2 of those things, so I'm like, I might sew with her, but I'm gonna be cranking her like she's Brunhilde. I'll hand crank sew her, but I'm not gonna. Well, I need to learn how to thread her. She's a very confusing machine, which right now is just. I can do like sewing machine curls. This is like the new jail workout. Can you lift your sewing machine squats?
Okay, so you're laughing, but I do that in real life. I curl.
I'm not laughing. My did that yesterday. I was like, pick this up. It's so heavy.
I have to like. I'm like, and I do with my left too, because my left is a little bit more weak than my right, and I'm like, okay, I have to be able to palm.
You gotta do 10 on your left and 5 on your right, because the weak side needs a little bit more work.
Always.
Okay, let's see here, Allie. That is not cloth covering. When it looks fluffy, it's dangerous, and it's no longer good shielding. I'm enough of Evil Knievel to plug it in. What's the worst that can happen? I blow the main breaker.
Just don't let us set your house on fire.
Is my house is on fire, and I don't own this house, and I have cats, and I just bought a very expensive computer. So I want to. My friend stopped by today and was like, "Did you plug your machine in?" And I'm like, "No, I'm literally scared and would rather give it a good cleaning and have rewire it first."
Do you have a library near your house?
Yeah, they finally opened up because they got rid of the hooligans. What, can I plug it into the library instead?
Yeah. I would. If I lived any closer to you, I would drive over there and I'll go with you and plug that thing in the wall and see if it works at the library, and I would tape it. It's a public space. They have breakers.
I need to update my library card so I can get books from the digital library that I can't get free on my Kindle Unlimited, because there's so many books I want to read that I can't.
I wish, like, I have a ton of stuff plugged into my laptop, but like, I'm looking at it. I have a second breaker box in this room that's completely separate from my other one. Like, this room has its own power because I have stadium lighting in here, because I'm in a giant dark room, you know, so I have lighting everywhere. Everything's plugged in there, like.
Yeah, no, I don't have that. And a couple years ago, when the electrician was going around up in the attic crawl space, there was like, we had to do some stuff because this house was on the verge of setting itself on fire without me doing anything. So I'm like extra terrified.
I get it.
So where's the challenge? That's funny.
I should do that. I lift my Star all the time. Those things are heavy, and I have a Kenmore sewing machine. I weighed it on a video, but I'm gonna say this because I forgot what the weight is. That thing's like 60 pounds, like a solid 60 pounds.
I believe Brunhilde's probably at least 45, 50 with the wooden base.
Yeah,
those things.
No joke.
Where'd that screw? Does that screw go here?
Oh man, I have the OJ stuck in my head. Money, 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 money.
Money.
Like the news has been getting depressing, so I've been tuning out even more. So I've been listening to oldies and and I've been watching The Abyss and reruns of Adventure Time.
Let's see here.
I have a Kenmore. I think that might be the same one, Alibaba. I'm gonna go look. It's
46. Overestimated your machine weight.
I probably it's because I'm a weakling. That's why, because I'm skinny. It feels like it's 60 pounds. That thing is so heavy. I've been listening to a bunch of Frankie Valli. See, that's what I'm saying. I do that same thing. It's just been the news has been so depressing. I've been too, and the world is
So I've been listening to Placebo. I'm into like my dark baby goth days.
heck yeah.
Because Special K is so good. Or baby, it's time to take your meds. Oh, Placebo. My favorite disc was when I was in Europe and got a special Europe release that they didn't sell in the States.
That's like that Viking throat singing I got weirdly addicted to.
Human can pretend to do that sometimes.
I during the lockdown, I would roll like these giant finger J's. I mean, like 4 or 5 papers, and I'd watch that stuff, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." I miss. You know what? I miss nesting. That's the one thing I miss about 2020 is nesting at home.
I know that I've had to like go back to the office. Oh, what a night.
That is concreted in my skull now.
Oh no, that's not Grease. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, man.
I have a question. For the chat. Is it inappropriate?
Chat, what's your answers?
Is it inappropriate to listen to Michael Jackson?
No, I'm gonna go with.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go with no because this is the whole plight of like artists who are horrible humans, and this appears to be a forever debate and separating the art of a human versus who they are as a human. And from what it sounds like, what is it, TJ or Tijuana or whatever his nephew that. Did he get set up to make it look like he was an asshole?
People
didn't do those things. I mean,
they played
Macaulay Culkin sleeping over was kind of weird, but Sia did the same thing.
Michael was crazy. He wasn't Michael Jackson literally got plastic surgery to look like Peter Pan.
Oh, right.
Like
but
he
was doing weird things? I don't think we really know. Of course,
the reason I brought it up is because I'm obsessed with "Cause I'm Bad." I love that song. I love that. That whole era. I still have the Smooth Criminal Sega video game.
Okay,
it's rare.
I used to have a Sega. Oh no, my family did. I'm not a video gamer.
Oh, now I have Beauty School Dropouts. I love that damn song. I used to call myself Beauty School Dropout.
I know, that's when I told my mom what I would do, and she's like, why don't you just go to beauty school? And I was like, no. I'm going to go from one birdhouse degree to a different, very expensive degree.
When I first got online, when people would ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" I was extreme, like 10 times more sarcastic, and I would say, "I'm a beauty school dropout." But people started thinking that I really was a beauty school dropout, and no one got the joke. And I'm talking about people older than us did not get the joke.
Oh man!
Now that I have it stuck, that is one of those songs. See, this is my problem. So. My oldie station will go from that to Alice in Chains, and I rock
that's not
out.
Oldie.
You put on some Alice in Chains, I rock out because that's the stuff I listen to in my car. But it's weird to me. And yes, I still listen to the actual AM FM radio. I do.
Right, because you still have an FM radio. All right,
multiple. I have I have quite a few. I have the cathedral type. I have the type that were meant to blend in, like a 1960s one that was meant for a bookshelf.
If you can find these extra crunch crab and curry flavor that is imported from India, because I don't know what writing from India that is, but I know my dealer is Indian. I have an Indian snack dealer.
I'm ignorant when I say this. What language do they speak? They speak Farsi?
No, that is Iran, the Persians. No, India's got like 7 different languages. There's Hindi, there's a whole bunch of languages. But
Oh, that's right. I had a niece who did Doctors Without Borders, and she literally traveled around the world, and like she lived here for a while, and I still have all her old Berlitz and stuff.
yeah, classic is over 25 years old. Oldies should be 70s and back. Okay, so classic is 1995. That's terrible.
Isn't that? Oh my god.
That's not far back enough.
I said the Cure and the
Well, Alibaba, by that measure, let's forget the Cure and the Smiths. I think the Cure and the Smiths are now oldies. Just sitting here in front of my computer, I can count 3 different radios, and one is also a CD player. Good on you, Killeray. Oh my god. Loki thinks that these crab curry chips are snacks for him. Did he get dry food? Loki just wants snacks and is sitting in my chair right now. All right, I'm glad that I trusted the group and was like, I've been told this so that Shmooly works, but I am afraid to plug her in. Have a good night, butterfly. Solving the oh, I'm out. I'll check back in later to see if we're still solving the world's sewing problems. We're probably gonna only be on for like another half hour, 40 minutes, because that's all my streaming software lets me do in one fell swoop. Yeah. Thank you, Alibaba, for I looked at that bottom and I was like, I got a bad feeling about this, but now I don't know how to fix what I have. But I'm sure you will all help me. I hope. Alright, what do I have left to sew on? So I probably shouldn't have done a
I'm
roll
so
time at the
muted.
top because I needed a cord.
I was trying to talk. Every time I stand up, I forget I'm wearing these spants. Have a great night, butterfly. I want to thank you for the idea. These spants are glorious. These things are glorious.
There's something about nice floofy pants that are not quite, yeah.
These are glorious.
If I check out the link, it will show you what wiring should look like. Is there a link that I missed? Am I going to have to go back through my own chat to look for a link? All right. I must have missed it, but I will rewatch my own live stream, which still freaks me out, and I will find this link because, yeah, I was like, this is not the way wiring is supposed to look, but I'm just confused because I'm confused.
You know what's so funny? That makes sense of why it shot a 2-foot flame at me, because it was wrapped in all that cloth.
All that fluff that was not tight and just fluffy.
Oh, I plugged it in and it went poof. It went right.
Yeah.
But as you can tell, I have eyebrows to spare.
Well, you still have, or they grew back nicely, whichever the case may be.
I'm not even saying this to be funny. The face weirdly heals faster than anywhere else. I've had my face split open twice, and you would never know if I didn't tell you.
It just bleeds like a mofo because of all the blood vessels. Like, it looks face wounds look way worse than they usually are. But we haven't talked about anything where I've needed to say no medical, legal, election fortification, financial, crypto, legal. There's no advice. We're just here for the shits and giggles and sewing. Oh, thanks. Why is it not showing?
I think it's to make them blue.
Oh. How do
That's
I?
good to that. You know what? Honestly, Alibaba, since that day, I test everything. That's why I asked if it had the metal bar across the bottom. Like I've learned the hard way. I have learned the hard way. I've been hurt by sewing machines, and I had a white, just a white. It was a 1960s. I plugged it in. Every time I touched it, it would. If I didn't have my shoes on, it would electrocute me. Needless to say, that thing is buried in the corner. I still don't know what's wrong with it. There's a reason why they coated cloth wire meant for houses in tar. Tri wiring is double insulated.
I'll have to copy and paste them. Is there? How do I do this? Let's see here.
I forgot about that
Okay.
white. That white hurt me.
Okay.
And I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're shopping, I have yet to ever purchase a white, not white rotary, just if it says white on it, that works. That's just my personal opinion.
Haley, try it again. I just blue wrenched you. Congratulations to being the first human who has been blue wrenched on my channel, because I'm too lazy to even blue wrench Godless. But I just want this link. We'll see if that works.
That reminds me, there's somebody.
Right?
Now I hear every time someone gets a wrench, I hear the He-Man. I have the power. That reminds me, there's somebody tomorrow that if they show up, I'm gonna give them their wrench back because I don't think they are who I think they are, and they actually involve themselves in the chat.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, now I can go to that.
Honestly, I wonder how old houses don't get burnt down. How sketchy electrical appliances from back then. We have weird codes.
Stop talking about my house.
We have crazy codes here, but my brother's house, he still has glass fuses. That's how old his house was built in the 1920s.
Yes, it's really a link. And do you mind dropping the link to your Tumblr? Because when I changed computers, I lost it, and I love wet dreaming about your presser feet. That's
I'm cutting that. I am cutting that. I'm gonna have greatest hits.
just because today's stream has all been about a tiny bit about food, mostly about sewing machine innuendos.
I'm gonna tell you honestly, I feel creepy downloading anyone's stream that isn't mine. Like there's only been one time, but that's because I finally got to curse out someone who's been stalking me for 2 years. I copied that right away because I want to keep that forever. But besides that, I really don't copy other people's streams.
Oh, my Flickr. Yes, Flickr. Right, because you're too cool for Tumblr. You're not a emo girl with anorexia.
There's a ton of
maybe
sites.
you are, that's cool too.
There's a ton of sites that I like. Do you have a Etsy?
No, because no. A, it seems like too much work, and B, Etsy sells dolls that should not be sold ever because they're not for kids and they're creepy and weird and no.
I've never gone on Etsy before. Oh wow, that's tasty. No, I'm too old for Tumblr. That's crazy, Kilroy. We still have fuses in our home, though. I found out that some of them were still glass. That means that it's old school. If you have glass fuses in your house, that means it's based on the old. I know how to rewire your house and replace them. I got mad and replaced them. Oh, okay, with actual modern ones. One day I'll learn to read till the end.
I know mine. my house, they pretended to put like GCFS outlets in the kitchen, but it's just a fake faceplate. Nothing. I don't think anything in my house is grounded.
Oh wow.
No joke.
Oh wow. Then be extra careful.
That's why I'm not plugging this shit in until we rewire this. Like, honest, like, I'm marginally terrified. I'm glad it only cost me $50, but now it feels like very expensive $50. But
that's the only advantage of living in the city. If you saw the ball of wires under my foot, it would give you anxiety. My ex-wife walks in here and it gives her anxiety. She always tells me, she's like, "You're such an effing fire hazard."
and a tripping hazard for that, it sounds like, too. Forget the fire. You're going to hurt yourself with the ankle break instead.
So in this room, if you're over 5'9", you would hit your head in here because I've made
Well, I'm
this room.
glad I will never have that problem. Thanks. Let me come visit.
This room is made for anyone 5'9" and under because it's, in my height and my sight, I'm a
Okay.
borrower. I'm really a
Yes,
borrower.
Allie, I've seen the oldest electrical systems copper bar into junction boxes at every corner. Is that similar to knob and tube, or is that different? GCFI has to be grounded. I bet you have GFCI outlets, but there isn't the ground to connect them and make them work great. Yes, that is what's going on in my house. I have the ones on the front. They look like they're supposed to work, but when I saw the human installing them and they zap themselves, they look like they're supposed to be grounded, but they are not.
You know what? Now that I think about it, you could probably plug your sewing machine into my truck.
When I can get an adapter and hook it up to my Subaru, and it'll be. Is there a cigarette lighter adapter for this sewing machine?
I have one. That's a cigarette. That's a power cord. My pops used to had a trailer, and so the truck is completely wired. Like it's a 1988 Ford F-150. I can go in the back of the truck, open up the shell, and turn a light on. Yeah, that doesn't happen in old 88s. Like the whole back lights up and everything.
That would feel less scary to me than in where I live and sleep. But it's also not.
For certain things, when I'm really sketched out, I'll plug them into my truck. See, but I have meters. I have meters and stuff to see, voltage meters, and to see, okay, is this really going to electrocute me?
Right. I don't have that stuff. My electrical engineering ended it at physics, which I may have or may not have needed to take 3 times to pass successfully. They were like I-beam, but really small and set into glass containers and junctioned around 90-degree corners up and down. Oh, like those bluebell fingers majiggers. They were blue and they were like bell-shaped. I know what this is. Sorry, I interrupted again because I'm an interrupting cow. No.
Are you kidding me? I feel sorry for you that you have to stream with me because I interrupt so much.
I've gotten good. And it helps when I don't know what to say. I'm like, well, Godless will just steamroll me with words and I can just hang out and sew for a second.
It's because I'm classically trained. That's the LA. Like the second someone stops talking, you have to fill the air. It's like old radio training,
Right. I know. My default is to let other people talk, so it took me a while to practice coming into my own and being like, no, you will shut up and listen to me because I'm the most important person here.
I don't miss those people. I do not miss those people.
Okay. One of these days, I'm going to buy a Variac so I can bring any sketchy stuff up slowly. Fair. Oh, duh, Phoenix. And I begrudgingly admit this is a rental. And our original landlady grew up in this house. And it is old. This is also the worst time to try and buy a house. Those are all truthful statements. No, the bell-looking glass ones were the main lines on poles. All right. Ellie, you are too smart for me. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with my dumbass self.
It's a bad time to buy a car. right now, I feel sorry for anyone that has to buy a car. As someone who owns 3, well, 2 that work.
2.5.
Yeah. 2 and a paperweight. I feel sorry for anyone that has to buy a car right now because the prices are unreal. They're unreal.
No, it is. That's well, between everything and payments, I would rather sink a little bit of money into my 13-year-old car that has just barely 100,000 miles that I know if I take her into the shop can do another 100,000 without thinking twice than to have to deal with car payments right now.
Do you know what's really funny? That is one of my biggest flexes because I'm an a-hole. When everyone's like, "Oh man, that your old truck's still running, it looks great," and I'm always like, "Yeah, I don't have any car payments," and I
Yeah,
literally
no, that's too. It's paid off. I do not. It probably needs 10K and stuff, but it may or may not be able to be like afforded, and I would rather do that. Some cars are nuts. Okay, similar shape, different for the lines, no wires, just solid copper bar wires. Words, you're not helping me. One of these days, I want to buy a house, and I'm pretty much going to have to sock away a bunch of money and wait for the market to crash like it does every 8 or 12 years. This might be the time. If
Fair.
I'd known, I might have known a house that you could have bought. Well, no, they sold it for more than what it was originally listed, what I thought it was going to go for, and you would have had to cross state lines.
You
But it was a
totally reminded me of
duplex
something.
in a
I
cute
had
neighborhood.
I have a really good friend who tried to start a mini California, maybe near you. He lives in Georgia now, but he was trying to convince all of us to move to Oregon. And like a friend of mine who actually lived in Oregon, we asked him one question. Have you ever lived in Oregon? He's spent his whole life in California, Tennessee, and Georgia. And he's
Yeah,
privileged.
Oregon's different. We're red, we're blue, but mostly red. If you don't live on the I-5 corridor, everything's red as the day is long.
Well, land
My
can't vote.
car's
It's because everyone lives in Salem and Portland.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't live on the I-5 corridor, then the I-5 corridor is blue. Everything else goes from purple to very red.
But I've been
My
to
car's
Pendleton and there was sorry.
oh, my car's paid off, and I could put loads of money in it and still be out ahead over another used car. That's what I'm saying too. I don't want another
Yep.
$30,000 car. I'd rather sink some money into the one that I have that might have some cosmetic issues here and there, but it has another 100,000 miles on it. Go Subaru. I don't drive a Subaru.
You know, I was anti Subaru until someone I know bought 2 of them, and they're decent cars.
They are. Even the '06 model with the heated seats. And a real
There was controversy here in LA because Subaru got busted because they would people would look around and they're like, why are there only advertisements in West Hollywood? And they got busted because
that's where the butch lesbians live.
Subaru was like, look, lesbians are buying our cars, so we're gonna advertise in their neighborhood.
Right?
They got busted big time.
Oh, Dubs no longer commenting. Yeah, keep your mouth shut, human. And the new cars have problems right now off the line, brand new. Subaru are great but expensive. I know, but mine's paid off and it is good.
I haven't bought a new car since well actually no, I haven't bought a new car since my Mazda 3 that my ex-wife buried. But the last time I was around someone who bought a new car was 2019. And I purchased nothing but used cars.
I've had the same car since '06.
My problem is I smoke. And so I'm bad with cars. Like I can't have a lease. I will destroy a lease. Like you can't tell me I can't do something in my car, you know?
Oh, did you see that stupid kid who thought that a lease meant that he was going to own it? He was like, "Oh, I have this 18-month lease and I've been paying all this time and I thought I was going to keep the car at the edge." And they were like, "Ha, you don't understand what you signed originally." I was like, "How dumb can you be?"
What? Oh, and then post it, and then show your stupidity.
Yes, yes, yes. All of the above.
There's
And
certain
complaining
like,
about it, I was like, "Oh my god, who are you?"
bruh. See, someone like that needs a mentor. Someone to tell them, "Hey, man, let me take you to used car lot."
I know,
Because
but
you're
I
an
think they
idiot.
were like 35 and they were still an idiot. I was like, how
Oh.
is this happening?
I agree with Alibaba and Kilroy. I will never buy a new car. And brand new cars are a scam. Imagine if you buy a Bentley, okay? Let's say you pay 100,000. The second you put your butt in the seat, it depreciates.
It's only worth 80.
Yeah. When you drive it, it depreciates. When you take it to your house,
right.
I cannot stand 50 Cent, okay? The rapper. I can't. But he gave some really solid advice. Jewelry has no value except for to the person who has it. Like when you see rappers with really big chains and stuff, it depreciates immediately. Like there's no resale value in jewelry is what I'm trying to say. So
Well, no, gold, if it's real gold has a value separate from the weight of the gold has value separate from what the piece of crappy jewelry may have looked like.
But these guys are paying money for diamonds that like they're basically overpaying for what they're, and he was basically saying like, okay, you bought a 2018 Lamborghini, okay? The second you buy that car, it's instantly depreciated. And then when they come out with the 220 Lamborghini, your car no longer matters. And you can like, there's only a handful of people.
About the Benz I just sat in that was like 2019 that was like, hey, Benz.
He basically said there's not enough rich people in the world.
Fair. I took accounting courses in high school instead of calculus and trig. I can't tell you how many college grads I've educated on basic finances. That is so true because when in all of my years of actually having taken calculus, do I use that in my real world? Never. Trigonometry, pi r squared, just to like flex, but real world, no. If I need to make a circle skirt, I just take the line and draw it. Do I do maths? Hell no.
Oh, same.
I just punch it, and I'm like, good enough close enough for jazz. What the fuck?
I get my biggest pair of pants and use those as templates. Come on. I judge no
You're
one.
like, this is the most fattiest I'm gonna be. All right, I can always put some darts and tucks in and
Damn right.
skinny it on the waistband.
I live by that. Like, always fix it in the mix. Always.
The gold bullion value is there, but the markup for jewelry is 44 to 50 times the gold value. So many would buy older Ferrari and Lambos. Yeah, no, my dealer wants to buy like a Lambo SUV, and I'm just like, this is not the neighborhood to flex that in. That you have a a Benz SUV-ish thing is more flex than the neighborhood can really handle.
I live in the burbs. Like, you're looked at weird if you don't. People look at me like I'm a hillbilly, but I'm probably one of the only people that actually owns a home and can afford to pay their own bills.
Oh, Killer, stop making me laugh so hard that I might be crying yellow.
So you need to take a chill pill. Or you're making a 50-foot flag. Do you know, there's, have you ever heard of Camping World?
Oh, yeah, this is like a big box store like Dick's, but for campers.
So the guy who owns Camping World hates the state of California and gets in big fights. first he put an electric fence because he was so anti-homeless. He put electric fences around every single one of his stores, and they were like, "Bro, that's illegal." And then it literally over the hill from my house, there is a 75-foot flag, and it was rendered illegal, and they fought so bad, and he got to keep the flag.
Oh, that Lamborghini Military 002 is a military vehicle, and no one knows what that one is. Yeah, that's new on me, but I'm not a car aficionado.
Lamborghini makes tractors too.
It's all about the engine. What is it like? Who makes fancy engines and puts them in like Toyotas that you're like, oh, is it
Rolls Royce makes
Saab or
planes.
Rolls Royce? Somebody. It's the engine. The engine is where it's at, not the make of the car. I've learned if that's. But chat will correct me if I'm wrong.
We have a lot of like private airports around here, so you hear single and double plane engine planes all the time. They sound like cars in the skies. It's when they're barreling by, you know, especially the old World War II planes.
A regular 3 by 5 foot flag is fine. A 75-foot one, and I think you're compensating.
Okay, so Roy, I'm not kidding you. The second you go over this one hill, you can't miss it. You can't. I'll take a picture next time I go to the Goodwill. When the wind catches it, it literally blacks out the sky. They considered it an obstruction because it's off the freeway, but he won
his obstruction because it's ginormous.
It's huge. It's unreal. The guy went to court for it. You could look it up. You could Google it. Camping World. He fought California. They made him take his fences down, but he got to keep the flag. But from a
I would have fought harder for the fences because all of that kind of goes back to the Target thing about all these folks just shoplifting like it's what's the word I'm thinking of? Where you used to dance like a words are escaping me right now.
I can't watch those videos.
A flash mob of shoplifters is happening.
I can't watch those. I watched a video of a young man. I don't know where he was. He walked into like a chicken shop or something. And he's like, "This is mine." This big old dude, him and his buddy walked in, and they walked out with this tray of chicken. I would have knocked that tray in his face and got beat up by 2 people bigger than me.
But and you're like, "You're not taking my fucking chicken."
I would have got beat up. I would have got beat up that day. I would have been like, "What are you?"
The shoplifting rampage needs to stop.
They and they do it for and these idiots do it for the gram. They do it for the internet. They're not doing it. Yeah. Don't do it around me. I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna make you.
It was like a kid in England who
Mizzy.
A trio of kids who were walking into people's houses.
Mizzy
picked up Mizzy took this person's dog. Was like, "Do you want to die?" And they were like, "Do you want a hair dye?" And I'm like, "No, that's not what you said. You said, do you want to die?" Yeah, this Mizzy character needs to Mizzy off.
I can't watch it. I can't. I come from an era where people put hands on children. Like, I can't. Like, if your neighbor saw you doing something wrong, they would grab you and take you to your parents. Like, I come from a different era.
They would knock the tar out of you, and then your parents would be like, yeah, no. I heard what you did from another adult, and the answer is still no.
Okay. I agree with Kilroy. Sorry, read the comment first, because I'm about to go off.
If you keep on taking chances like that, eventually you're going to run into the wrong dude and die in a damn KFC. Yeah, that's the F around and find out. If you do, yes. That was like the YouTuber prankster who in Tennessee or whatever who pulled a prank and got shot, ended up in the hospital. Like, yeah, fuck around and find out. You can't pull that. Try to do that in Pennsylvania, Texas. They're like, "Nope, we're armed and carrying here. You're on my property. You
Around
can.
here, people are looking for that young man who duped out the homeless guy. Have you seen that video of that young man who fake fed he bought food for the homeless guy and then ate it in front of him and ran off?
That's
There is a
no,
young
I
man
did
that
not.
he did it in LA, and he's a YouTuber from somewhere else, I think. But like he's on the list of, if you ever see this guy, put him out of his misery. Like, these people are idiots. There was a
Yeah.
young man in my town who would go around tackling all the racks in 7-Elevens and taping himself. He got arrested because people were like, I hope I don't catch him. This young man was lucky the cops got him before the locals did. Let's just put it that way.
Seriously, like, it's the same on all the sides. Like what Killer is talking, what we were talking about earlier. If you destroy property, if you are doing illegal things, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You're out of this playing. You don't get to play in my sandbox. If you're a human who has some sense, you're welcome to stay. But once you draw the line of legal versus illegal or constitutional, because I pretend to live in the United States where we pretend to have this thing called a constitution, for better or worse, like, there's things I'm okay with, and there's lines I'm like, no. Oh, okay, can I
You
just
totally
rant real
reminded
quick?
me of something.
Okay, I rant first. Canada, I am so sorry that you're using MAID as a solution to poverty. I really am terrified and honestly heartbroken for you, because I have so many feelings and thoughts that I'm going to end it there, but MAID should not be used as a solution for poverty. That's just horrific.
So on Black Twitter, there is
Okay.
a trend now of they're trying to warn young YouTubers, like, hey, stop running up on older men. They're from a different generation. They will hurt you. And there are a ton of videos of young men running up on older African American men and getting literally slapped down to the ground. Because they'll walk up and be like, oh, you're so hot. And they'll be like, oh, I was talking to you. And the older generation, like, you don't ever call a grown man a punk or a bitch unless you want to fight.
Right. Unless you know what they're into, unless you intimately know them, those are no-goes.
Like I said, I have a good friend. We call each other puto. If anybody else said that to
Yeah.
me, we're fighting. We're fighting.
Well, can I get away with saying that to you, honey?
But that's different.
Because we're friends.
And I know how tall you are too, so you can't beat me up. No,
That's
I'm kidding.
seriously right. If I call you honey, it's out of love.
No, you never know. One of the toughest people I ever known was 5 feet tall, and he was like, he would take on. Because he had a good base. Nobody could stop him.
Exactly. You've got a lower center of gravity.
Oh, yeah.
They'll take you at your knees, and you are down. Chokehold. It's it.
Oh, he was
Game
unstoppable.
over.
He was...
I know.
The world.
Yeah.
What is made?
So that is assisted in. Oh, I forget the M. But it's an assistance in dying. So it's basically government sanctioned euthanasia, and they are promoting it for folks who are on the verge of poverty or who live below the poverty line now.
What?
And they've already done it for folks who have Ehlers-Danlos for no good reason. For somebody, they offered it to a military veteran who just wanted one of those seats that go up your stairs from the first ground floor to the second floor.
My grandma had one.
Like,
my grandma had one.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, we can't pay for that, but would you like to die instead? That was
my gosh.
To a military veteran. To decorated folks, they're like, we don't want to pay for these basic things, but we'll help you die.
My grandma had one. I still regret not taking that out of her house when I completely took her house apart. That's insane. So if you're poor, you can kill yourself.
basically, and disabled, mentally ill, they don't even need to let their family members know. So folks are like ending up dead by the state, and the family's like, "Where's my relative? Oh yeah, we offed them last week." Whatever happened to just minding your own business? I feel like an old man telling kids to get off my lawn when I say.
Same.
Yeah,
I habitually mind my own
they
business.
made it so pretty, sounding like this is the maid to help clean up after stuff. Like, what? Who thought of this acronym?
Terrible name.
It's
Terrible
gross.
name.
Canada. I love you and your maple syrup and your Canadian Niagara Falls, but I'm scared for you. Like, honestly and literally. Oh, did I just read that? I did. Okay, wow. We are at 3 hours and 45 minutes, and my eyes are going cockamamie.
I'm looking up the worst government acronyms. CHOMP. Consumers have opinions for Molar Protective Act. That's pretty bad.
What is molar? I only know that in the form of pregnancy. That's a cancer.
Your teeth. Your molars.
Oh, okay.
Stalkers. Simplifying the ambiguous law, keeping everyone reliably safe. That's terrible. That is a terrible.
Mad, that's also like super funny. Oh, damn it! I'm not going to be able to remember it right now.
Oh, these aren't the ones I was looking. These are not the drones I was looking for. There's been some real, like the UK had one. It was like handy, or it was something bad. It was like they were like, who let, like there 50 people had to heard this, you know. Oh, it was something really bad. I can't remember now.
Oh man. Oh my God, folks! It really is at 3 hours and 46 minutes. So even though tomorrow we stream super late, my East Coast friends must not sleep, but I respect your sleeping hours. So what do you have to, let's see here, one last comment. Worst act, Patriot Act. Most, yeah, that one's bad too. And respect, I think, is also bad. From Mackenzie Brothers to Trailer Park Boys, I think we can see progress decline. All right, what do you have to shill before we...
I am working on I'm working on a video. Since I don't sleep, it probably will be out at like 2 my time because YouTube takes forever to upload. If I finish it this evening, but tomorrow night we'll be live streaming same old. I like what Butterfly says. We're trying to solve the world's sewing problems.
Yes, we are. And do not wait until tomorrow to be fabulous today. And don't laugh at yourself unless you laughed at your others. And I guess my adopted Indian family has cold cocktails and Indian food. So I need to hit the ladies' room or the sewing room and go meet with my adopted Indian family because I may or may not have plans of going to India to buy some cute fabric.
No, I'm craving Indian food.
I know, seriously. All right. Bye. Rock out with your clock out. That I'm stealing that.
Because it's gold.